Welcome back, everybody, here to another week of the main stage. We have ourselves, obviously, you know us, you may like us, I'm not really sure. It's me and myself, Mick, and Nato over to my left or right, wherever he may be as the time comes. But, I mean, as we do go ahead and get ourselves into this week of Valorant matchups, we get ourselves, at least for the first series overall, it's been the likes of JSU and UNA. So, obviously, this being a UNA stream, you're going to know the UNA squad. You're going to know what they have to offer because they were also a spotlight last week, as we saw, obviously, the likes of Vocula absolutely go off with their KJ that we saw in so many different respects. But JSU also looking to be a really good squad this season. We've sat there and seen them really stand out in terms of performance. They've had themselves some pretty good rankings overall, and even then, they're looking to continue that today. So as our first map overall, it's going to be Likes of Ascent. We're already hopping into agent picks. Everybody knows what they really want to do, and even then, we already have some hovers to back it up.
Yes, I'm ready to see Volcula go crazy today like she did last week. I mean, she kind of just hard carried last week for the side of UNA, and I haven't seen a lot of JSU at all this season, really, so it'll be exciting to see what they can do against UNA's squad today. And it looks like we're getting that chamber, squib on that chamber again. I always love to see that. Guppy might be going to the KO. That'll be very, very nice. Maybe a Reyna pick. Brim did get nerfed today. Is that live right now?
I'm pretty sure that is live. We had a patch come through here within yesterday, and that was when they also released the notes that Brim has been nerfed to some extent. His smokes haven't been changed. His incendiary hasn't been changed. It purely comes down to his stem because he used to have two, which each cost 100 creds, but now he only has the availability to buy one, and that's going to double up to 200 credits on its own. So with how much of an impact it has and how small it is and how long it lasts, I'm not really sure about that change too much in my own respect and regards. But I mean, even then, it's right at the end of the day, and they can do whatever the heck they want. So as things really do start to iron out here, we have ourselves a two-team composition. The likes of UNA running that KO, the KJ, the squib on that chamber, SPH on the Reyna, and no money here on that Brimstone. We get somewhat of, I'd say, a mirror matchup in some extent, but even then, the one thing that we're seeing UNA missing is that Sova and the Astra as well, and also a Jet. So it's not really a mirror matchup. I kind of just played myself, but in all things considered, we do have some balanced comps, but it all comes down to whether or not we have to provide in terms of intel, because that's the biggest mention that we really sit there and have to talk about when it comes around to the likes of Ascent. Sova, missing for the side of UNA. I got to say, that is a really cocky move from the likes of them, knowing that every single team typically likes to default for a character like that, unless you have yourself so much reliance on that KO. So we really got to see Guppy step up to really go ahead and compensate for the lack of that.
Yeah, I think if the KO doesn't start working out, I think we'll see a kind of a bit of a steamroll, and just from the information side alone for the side of UNA, not just not having enough information, and JSU will just rally behind that potentially if they're not able to get those KO just information from him alone.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, you sit there, you're at the lack of a Jet. So, I mean, Reyna and SPH on that duelist has to just go off. I mean, UNA obviously sitting there, they have the confidence to go ahead and pick this composition, but they really have to back things up with the attitude, with the shots as well, to really show that they deserve to be here and really get those frags that are necessary. So we can already see a little bit of a start coming out. We saw SPH get a little bit of a peak there, but I mean, even then going ahead and getting cut off by the smoke. With a lot of influence going here towards the middle for the likes of JSU, Guppy's going to be the first encounter to run into that. And with the flash to come through and not a trade or another player to swing off of it, you already see Cornflake Killer finding that first frag here of the round as everybody's moving on to that B side, and Vocula is thankfully the one player on side already, able to go ahead and manage one to six. Oh, Squib backs him up as well. So now with the double as well to be working with things. So now 4v2 scenario, it all comes down to Vocula. Still on site, she's holding things down. Able to find now a second one, possibly a third, but Panda Boat ends up closing out that kill. So 3v1 with Panda in the back towards Boathouse, looking to grab that spike and get a plant down, but he's got a lot of sharks in the water to get through.
Oh yeah, I mean, UNA set themselves up for success with Squib going on that flank there, picking off two. And, I mean, that might just give them the round right here. Good momentum to start off with. Good first round for them. And, yeah, there it is. No money here with the easy pickoff right there.
So an easy little start there for the likes of UNA to go ahead and get themselves the first round on the board with 3 players still surviving. As Squib did use a little bit of those headhunter shots, you're not really too concerned about it. Knowing that you have yourself a force in this round, we can see him going ahead and opting for a little bit of a will be a cheaper buy here for the second. Going ahead and getting that old rendezvous down towards that B arches. And I got to say, I love these kinds of plays. I sat there, I'm not going to say I'm the originator because I'm sure plenty of people have done it beforehand, but the aggression towards B that you can get with a shotty, it's much more efficient with a judge where you can legitimately just run up like you do not care for your life, get an easy little TP out, and then find yourself getting some free kills off of it. But even then, the early swing already goes ahead and turns a little bit south when you have that little bit of suckage coming through from the Astra there towards the top. And you sit there and know that Squib's still on site, looking to get some kills on that Bucky. Can't find anything as Dan Toaster manages the first of the round. Able to go ahead and pop down a Nano Swarm, and no honey here. And SPH go out for the swing, and it's nobody here. Grabs a second, a third, maybe a fourth, but can't close things out. It all comes down to a 1v4 scenario with old Dan Toaster and the backup generator trying to go ahead and live out his life, but can't really happen there. We see UNA closing out their second round as well, and to be expected with the guns at their disposal. And we're going to see possibly JSU get themselves a retaliation round where they've got these rifles in hand.
Yeah, I mean, UNA, they're coming out here and they're like, yeah, we're going to give them no rounds. Just go ahead and get that early advantage on these rounds right here. Just get these easy, clean rounds right off the get-go, so that way they can eventually just start steamrolling and snowballing and just take over the rest of the match here.
So already we're going to see these rifles coming through for the side of JSU, especially with the full armor as well, because sometimes we do see players like to force up a little bit, invest some money, then they go ahead and find themselves with half armor, but they're taking the safer route here. And with Dan Toaster already going ahead and finding the influence on Jet, knowing that he's at that 2-2, not the most impressive scoreline overall, but still being a top for your team nonetheless as a duelist. That's the kind of momentum you're asking for. Problem is, thus far for JSU, you see that Gambit and Thrax, I mean, they're a little bit asleep at the wheel, knowing that they're your two initiators. They have to be your backup. They have to have just as much an influence in a fight. Meanwhile, we're seeing a lot more control just from a UNA overall. And I mean, that second round was a huge influence in that overall, but so far. And speaking of influence, there's a little bit of it here in this round. Dan Toaster able to go ahead and grab that first frag here and pushing a little bit towards the middle of the map. Going ahead and giving a little bit of an idea to sit there and say where JSU may be moving. But I don't quite think they have an idea of their own just yet as they're moving towards the middle, playing it slow and steady, trying to get a feel for the map and see what's the most open.
Yeah, they got that first pick off there, and now they just need to play this right. Make sure that UNA doesn't really know where they're going, because, I mean, they're just pushing so slow through mid right here. If UNA gets the pick off here and makes it a 4v4, I mean, or even a 3v4, I mean, that would just be huge for the side of UNA.
My concern is how slow they're going ahead and getting themselves on site. I mean, with all these rifles and having all 5 members still alive, you're going up against Spectres. I mean, you don't want to rush into sight. You don't want to be a last-second just time crunch, because then you really will not know what's going on. You'll see all the utility coming through, but still, Gambit does find that other kill as well. So now in a 2v5 scenario, sure, 17 seconds still left on the clock. SPH is looking to get a swing off that Lear, but can't really manage anything just yet. With only 56 health and a Dream, looking to find the shots to go and grab the necessary kills. You can't see that coming to all fruition as Vakil is now the last player standing. Doesn't get the opportunity to get the swing on that last player of Panda, but we see JSU now getting their first round of the board with all these rifles in hand. 4 players still remaining at the end there, so a good standing for them to know that they don't have to invest too much money here, and they still have the same exact amount of, I'd say, influence as they did in the last one.
Yeah, I mean, JSU just playing it really slow there. I mean, kind of caught UNA off guard slightly, it felt like. I mean, they got the 2 first picks, which was huge for them. They were able to rush site, and there wasn't a lot that UNA could do because they were all spread out trying to figure out where they were going. And then by the point that they knew, it was kind of too late, and they were all split.
And even then, I feel like they could have had that intel to be working off of, because that's something that we discussed earlier. I mean, when you had that sub, you can go ahead and shoot a dart up into the sky, find it sitting down towards mid, you can find that first easy kill. But talk about first easy kills. There's one for Dan, as Squib is caught with his gun, not in his hands, and an easy second to follow up with things. You already see, I mean, JSU probably making the call off that to say, A must be pretty darn clear if we've already set them clear 2 players towards his side. So let's go and make the push towards over here, and you already know that UNA is going to be on the rotation. But already, JSU looking to go ahead and break out a little bit of a trick play. They know that they're going to rotate. We know that they're going to have more players on that side, especially with this being a rifle round now. They're going to have the gunfire to answer back. So let's get the rotation through. Let's move over towards this B side, and the only player to really stand up against is going to be Vakula with that Nano Swarm early, but with nobody there. I mean, everybody just going ahead and fluxing right in onto site. I mean, you don't even get the opportunity to really pop that and get the damage off that you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's Volcula going down there. This looks very grim for UNA, because, I mean, they're going to be on lock right now. You got SPH and you got Guppy left here. I mean, if I were them, I'd probably get maybe a pick or 2 and then probably just back off and save eventually, because, I mean, like, if you already lost last round, you had a few rifles there. Money isn't looking the greatest right now for the side of UNA, so, I mean, you get a few picks here potentially and then just back off. That could be a play, but Guppy gets caught off guard, and that's the flawless for the side of JSU.
A huge round for them. Even then, the players that didn't buy in this last round could go ahead and pick things up, but it was Pandaboat who fell in that last one, but still can go ahead and compensate in terms of funds to go ahead and buy enough, at least in this one. And you can see the pockets of these JSU players are looking pretty sufficient thus far. On the other side, though, I mean, UNA, they're looking to scrap some things together, do whatever they can. And the rounds like these, you have to sit there and let Matt step up. He has to do, I mean, it's typically his job as a chamber. with that tour de force at his disposal. He only needs one more tick of progress to really get that to work with. And even then, he has a headhunter in the meantime, which has no damage drop-off. So, I mean, that's what he says himself, is that's where Chamber excels, is during these eco rounds, going ahead and finessing these thrifties, finding at least 1 or 2 picks for the rest of your team to pick up these rifles off of. So I want to see whether or not his words actually preach what he's about to do, is he can possibly find himself a couple kills, comes up with a headhunter, does a swing correctly, and Gambit can go ahead and find that first pick on the no money here towards that A site on directly the site. So as they do go ahead and back up a little bit, JSU wants to get a little bit more hesitant on their ideas thus far, looking to play a little bit more slow. And they're going to rotate possibly around the likes of Vocula's old Jaws of Death, as we've seen with all the utilities set up around her.
Yeah, I mean, Squib's just kind of waiting right there, waiting for this this push here from JSU, but ooh, Squib does get Gambit though, so that was a good trade, but it's still a 3v4 situation. Oh, ooh, Guppy and Vocula coming clutch right there, making a 2v3 situation. And
already,
go
ahead.
Squib is by himself right here, and there's 2 pushing A right here, so I mean it's 1v2 right now. He's got the chamber pistol revolver thing out right now. Bomb's going down. He hears it, but if Dan Toaster gets this pick here, I mean that'll be huge.
Most definitely will. I mean, still, that would go and even things out. You have yourself a 2v2 scenario. And problem is, I mean, in that last case, nobody on the side of UNA really picked up the guns off those dead bodies. Vocula went ahead and picked up that Vandal from the other side, where we saw her get that kill, respectively. But, I mean, you have 2 more players. You have Guppy still with nothing but a Guardian hand. You have Squib with nothing but a Bucky. Nobody got the opportunity. And Dan's going to go ahead and pick up Vocula, that first player that had the Vandal to work with. Squib's going to look to grab a kill there on the detained player, but just can't finesse it.
Wow.
That was a free 1v1 waiting on the man, and it just went ahead and slipped right out of his fingers. As we already see now, JSU having to go ahead and clutch that thing out. As rocky as the round was, they still finessed a win there nonetheless. Now going to help getting themselves a lead here on the scoreboard as they find themselves the 3 to follow those first 2 to work things off of. So knowing that those are the rifle rounds, knowing that that's where things really turn into quote-unquote real Valorant, they have themselves a much better standing once the game starts spinning out a little bit more so.
Yeah, I mean, that was a 2v3, and JSU just came in clutch right there. I mean, Dan Toaster came clutch with those 2 picks, and then Squib not being able to get that pick off, and that just was unfortunate for Squib right there. And I mean, they were able to get that 2v3 clutch, and they get them up in a round too. And their econ's looking great as well. I mean, you got bans all over the place on the side of JSU, and from the side of UNA, they're just kind of hoping for the best here. If they get a round win here, that'd be huge for them though. They're running off scraps right now.
Definitely would, but rounds like these, you can't only sit there and get kills, but you have to sit there and stay alive as well. Knowing that you don't have that much money, you can't really sit there and invest too much in the next one, knowing this is going to be a turnaround round. So Squib already saving, opted for the tour de force in this one, but thankfully Vocula is still alive on that B side. Looking to go ahead and hold things down, as we already saw SPH get a respective kill to sit there and say, all right, things are traded out. And the orbital strike to come down to go ahead and stall things out a little bit longer towards that B main area. So as we do see no money here looking to invest that thus far, everybody else wants to back up, wants to go ahead and get the rotations in. Make sure to give that support towards this side of the map where they know that the JSU players are still lingering. But where's the intel? Do you know they're still there? For darn sure. Well, we haven't seen them really make the influence there to really make that call just yet, because nobody wants to get aggressive. Nobody really wants to give the edge over to one side or to the other. Knowing it's still a 4v4, and that JSU's the one with the ball in their court. They have to take the shot. They have to get aggressive on the site. You can already see them trying to set up for it. Dan Toaster looking to go ahead and get a little bit more aggressive around this corner. You find that first one on the Guppy, but Vocula with the double makes things still much more doable as Squib now goes ahead, finds his way into market, finds that first kill to really back things up, but knows that the KJ Detain is down, and that's the last thing you want to be caught in. You play for the post plant. You know that plenty of seconds are still remaining. You wait for the refrag, and Panda Boat there, alive. Able to find one, looking for another one there towards the edge, trying to go ahead and stay inside that side a little bit. Squib trying to come around to the edge and come through that tent side, but as he moves a little bit more towards spawn, looking to go ahead and push up on this player, knowing that he's going to be somewhere around there. I'm sure he's gotten the call from his teammate there, no money here, to say, okay, look, he's a little bit tagged up. You can't be a little bit too passive here. And that's exactly what he does. Gets aggressive, finds the kill, and now UNA get their third.
Yeah, that was a good round right there for UNA. I mean, Vocula getting that 2K as they were pushing on to B right there, and Squib on the flank getting that extra pick off, and then just excellent play from the side of UNA. I mean, didn't really do a great job on staying alive, but they were able to get that round win right there and force JSU to spend a little money this round coming up.
And honestly, they're going to have to do it a heck of a lot more times if we're being quite real with each other right now. Knowing that, I mean, we see JSU still having themselves, I'd say, at least 2 more buys, even if things do go south for them. They can go ahead and put the hindrance on the side of UNA to say, look, you need to invest more. You got to invest more and more and more as this game goes on. And as we do have a better buy at least this time around, or not, excuse me, not a better buy, but at least a sufficient buy, as we do see all SPH having the full thing and still having 0 creds at the end. Squib is the one who really got caught up there, looking to get an easy pick right off the get-go and then get a free little rendezvous out of there, but when you get suppressed, you can't use any abilities at all. But you may not need it, as nobody here is on site able to go ahead and get an extensive trade, but KO is still alive and well, down but not out just yet, and you don't really find the exchange there, but SPH most definitely does. Already finding 2. Now a 2v3 scenario. Vocula coming up towards that heaven area, trying to go ahead and get the exchange, but no kills yet to really answer just that. SPH now popping the Empress, looking to go ahead and play around these doors right there towards that A side, looking to get a kill. Can find 1, but needs to find 2 more, as all these players on JSU have not yet pushed on the side or gotten the spike down. It doesn't matter though. Dan Toaster waiting on the inside of that site, watching that door, finds the kill, and now we see JSU with their 4th.
Yeah, UNA used a lot right there. I mean, they used a lot, I felt like. I mean, that was a very hectic round from both sides. I mean, picks going off and ults being used. And I mean, honestly, that opening pick right there, getting that suppression onto Squib from the KO, that was huge to be able to push into A and start securing some picks.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really when you're supposed to use KO ults, quite honestly. Just right off the get-go of the round. Make sure that all that utility that's set up is going to go ahead and be completely negated when you're going for that approach on the site, because, I mean, a KO ult tells you exactly where the location of the enemy is, unless you're going for, like, maybe a Trojan horse play. But, I mean, a KO isn't really an Empress. It goes ahead and speeds up the fire rate, but it doesn't sit there and give you that kind of easy dismiss, that way to go ahead and get out of a fight if need be. Your compensation is that you go to down but not out. You can get res if need be, and that's exactly what we saw JSU do and try to make the most of. But speaking of most of everything, Squib trying to make the most of a bad scenario thus far. He's sitting in the middle of a smoke with absolutely no health, sitting at 59 thus far. Vanderboat finds that first kill over there towards the middle of the map onto no money here. So you've lost your controller now. All the smokes have already been thrown out for the side of JSU, so not worried about it. And they're also not worried about Squib anymore, as he does go and find himself following well. And Gambit is going to be the one at the hand of that pick, as Guppy does find 1 towards the middle of the map. In exchange, it's still a 4v2 favoring JSU as they want to push onto this A side.
And Vocula's still alive. I mean, that might be taking notes from last week's performance from UNA on this map, and it's just like, if Vocula's not on A, push A. They might see her as just the alpha threat, just like, yeah, she's going to go crazy, but if we don't interact with her, we don't have to worry about her. We get easy plant, get some few picks, and put her in a situation where she has to struggle almost.
And that's something I've been saying for a lot of Valorant players here recently, is that, I mean, you just want to go ahead and work with what you got. You got to know when to fold, because in Valorant, let's be real, these players have the most self-confidence I think I've ever seen out of any sport community. I mean, when it comes around to Overwatch, when it comes around to League of Legends, I mean, sure, everybody has their own egos, but Valorant, it's just a different level. But that's part of it. When you sit there and know when you were beat, when you know a player is going to be better, when you know that one capable player is going to be your biggest problem, you have to work around that. You have to know when to fold, not to push aside. And even then, UNA folding right here, saying we know that we have to take a timeout, that this game is not working out in our favor. We finessed 1 round thus far. JSU's won 5 out of 6 of the rifle rounds we've had. We can't let this keep on going on like this.
Yeah, I mean, this will be the time just get your mental reset. Be like, look, let's figure out what they're doing real quick, adjust, get our mental reset, and just get ready to play again. Because, I mean, you got 30 seconds to figure out everything, and that's probably just not enough time for that, you know? And, I mean, UNA's just got to refocus, get their mentals right, and I think they'll be able to snatch a few more rounds after this, because they might be getting a little tilted. I don't know. It just depends. I mean, if I got suppressed and I wasn't able to use my abilities and get picked off first, I'd be a little upset too, personally.
Yeah, and I think it's also just kind of a switch-up ordeal that we're kind of missing for the side of UNA, because, I mean, when you sit there and know that something's not working, you know everybody's getting their respective picks. I mean, people are getting their trades, they're making themselves relevant, because you can even see, I mean, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Quite honestly, UNA has JSU beating in that respect. Thrax sitting as that KO, literally playing nothing but utility, not even getting their respective kills, sitting at 1 and 6 right now. Meanwhile, Guppy, in the same respect as a KO, sitting at 2 and 7, but still at least 1 up and having nearly as many assists, but able to go ahead and trade out when things get really grim. So, I mean, no trade out, no switch ups in the map, but finally with Squib pushing right up in the middle, able to find that first kill into Cornflake Killer, you know you've gotten rid of all of JSU smokes thus far. But
Dan Toaster.
Dan Toaster, he has a small smoke of his own, but even then, he's not going to really pull back when it comes around to really whipping out the smoke. Able to go ahead and find 2 kills right there to really equalize things out, if not give JSU an advantage now. Now they sit there and say we have control of middle. Where do we want to push with this? Well, we know that Brim is right there towards tree. Let's grab the kill. Sure, it comes down to a trade, but go ahead, Dan Toaster. Push right at the middle of the site. We'll come from the edge. We'll give you that back, and let's just go ahead and take this thing over.
Oh, Dan. through that smoke and just predicted shot Volcula right there. I mean, that's just unfortunate. And now Guppy's in a 1v3 situation with bomb down. And I mean, this looks very, very grim, and it looks like it's going to go to a 3-6 lead for JSU here. But I mean, we can see here. I mean, well, that's just unfortunate. Dan Toaster coming clutch right now for the side of JSU, getting these huge 2 pieces and 3 pieces. He's sitting at 17-3 right now. He's going crazy.
Kind of a menace.
A little bit of a menace.
Yeah, we could go ahead and now qualify the guy as a menace, but I mean, everything else considered, though, I mean, there's still a lot of rounds left, and you know that Jets are supposed to go ahead and have a lot of this attacking side and influence on them. They're supposed to get their momentum right here, and when you go ahead and give a Jet all that momentum to be working off of, that's really when you see them going off. They sit there and say, okay, my barrel's heated up, and especially Dan Toaster really feeling that impact right now, saying, look, I'm 17-3, I can do whatever I need to. This map is mine, as far as I'm concerned. I'm surviving every single round. The only ones I have is the rounds that we've lost. So obviously, I'm somewhat of an ace up the sleeve that we got to be working with. So through my ace up the sleeves, there's a Hunter's Fury already. Cornflake killer with an operator, nonetheless, and is able to go ahead and finesse the first kill of the round on the Guppy. So now making it a 5v4. You know the Volcula set up on this B side. Are you ready for the swing off of her, though?
Oh.
Cornflake killer almost, as he was just a little shy to the right of that shot to go ahead and finesse that kill, and Volcula does find it with the stinger in hand. So all the utility already invested. No KJ stuff left. I mean, you have the turret towards back, which is going to be regenerated there in the next 28 seconds. But still, you got 4 players with Vandals and Phantoms looking to rush you in the meantime. And we just don't see that coming out of JSU just yet. They're giving respect to their opponent. They're looking to go ahead and see if UNA will get a little bit overzealous. But quite honestly, I don't think they're going to make that move. They know they don't have the good utility to back things up. They don't have the kind of investment to really be making here. And as we do see the attacker KJ coming down, the old detainment Cage coming down, we don't see an answer out of Volcula. She doesn't want to pop her own. Instead, we're going to see Squib grab that 1 kill, go ahead and come out scot-free and say, let's just play it slow and steady. We have numbers advantage, play for the trades.
Oh, but Dan Toaster's just a different animal right now. I mean, he's just going crazy. Another 1v3 situation, but Volcula does have this. She could pop that. Oh, that's a good pick, though, but I mean, she's very weak here. Dan Toaster with 3 that round. I mean, Dan's kind of hard carrying for the side of JSU right now. And I mean, I feel like you kill him, you might be able to get a round or 2, you know? I mean, you just got to get that first pick onto him, and then you can probably follow up on everything else. I feel like he's just kind of leading the squad right now to victory, getting these good opening picks. I mean, he's sitting at 20-3.
I think the stats speak for themselves. Every single round that UNA's won has been a round where they pick off Dan. I mean, they have 3-round wins. He has 3 deaths. You go ahead and put 1-1 together. That's literally going to be probably their key to success when it at least comes to this map thus far. Knowing that Dan's the one who's really pushing into sight, playing that duelist, not only creating space, but saying, I'm not creating space and trading myself out. I'm creating space. I'm clearing out an entire site. I'm grabbing 3Ks every single round. And then after everything's said and done, I'm just not even worried about it because you can already see the score. I mean, for them to already have the likes of JSU 7 rounds onto the board and he has 20 kills, that's an average of 3 kills per round. That's disgusting. That is an entire site, knowing that you have yourself allocated across the map respectively to say, okay, we have either a 3-1-1 or we have a 3-1-2. We have whatever we need to really set things up for us to give us that intel necessary, but we haven't seen that out of UNA just yet. They're playing it slow. They're trying to play for defense. I mean, Squib's the only one trying to play for any aggression. That's because he's the only player that can, because otherwise they have nothing to work with.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, also notice how he hasn't used his ult yet. Dan hasn't used his ult yet, because I mean, he's just being he's so patient, but when he doesn't need to, exactly. I mean, he's just waiting for UNA to make a mistake, and then he just kind of thrives off it almost. I mean, he's very confident in his gunplay. I mean, he feels very confident right now, and he's kind of going crazy. Like, right there. SPH stayed there just a second too long. Good smoke placements. No money here does get Cornflake, though. And now a 2v4 situation with bomb going down. If Squib can get this pick right here on the Dan Toaster, I mean, that'll be their first step in winning this round. There it is.
There's one.
Squib does go down, but Volcula in a 1v3, and I mean, this looks very... You could win this right here. I mean, you took down their ace up their sleeve, it feels like, and I mean, Volcula... Yep, there it is, 2v1, bomb down, but it came from behind. That's just unfortunate. But I mean, hey, that's step 1, kill the alpha threat. Step 2, clean up.
I mean, yeah, you're not lying, quite honestly. That's all it really dwindles down to, because I mean, when you see a scenario like that, if Dan Toaster was still alive, I think, honestly, you and I would have been on the same page. This round doesn't really look doable. You know this guy's heating up. You know, actually, excuse me, he's not heating up. At this stage of the game, he's on fire. I mean, there's no question to it. But as the game goes along a little bit more so, when you see that he's going to be the one to falling, that he's not pushing up towards sight, he's not pushing towards your spawn, he's not restraining you, he's not constricting your movement any more so than it has to be to play the game a little bit longer, that actually opens up opportunities for Vocula to find these necessary kills. But talking about kills, we could see a little bit of a lineup here for Cornflake Killer and SPH as they do run into each other on the B side, but nobody wants to swing on that just yet. He's playing right around these crates, looking to go ahead, just kind of linger as long as possible while the rest of the team goes ahead and stays back towards spawn or really pushes towards its A side. I think they're waiting for a big swing or a big play here on A to either call for the rotate, or if it really causes somewhat of a rotation, they can push onto this B side and then leave it free for themselves. Problem is, Vocula's KJ utility is still set up over here. Cornflake Killer is looking at the lineup of SPH as he does find that first kill, gets the old dismiss off, and Cornflake Killer looking to go ahead and grab a second, but instead, Vocula manages that. Squib has the operator and can manage to kill Dan Toaster there. So with that kill down on the board, you find yourself in a 4v1 scenario, making now 3v1 as Gambit finds one towards B main as well. It all comes down to whether or not he can clutch things up. He has his spike, so I mean, he doesn't have to worry about some kind of an extra venture to really go ahead and find a way across the map. But with this reload coming through, you saw no money here, not really find the aggression. Instead, he finds himself getting aggressed, finding himself dead as well as Squib wants to get a little bit of a peek, can't find it there, and Gambit just trying to work whatever he can here, knowing that all these players are going to be towards B, looking to fight the guy. He wants to rotate towards A, find it's going right through the middle of the map, right back towards tree on that catwalk section, and wants to finesse at least somewhat of a plant there. But as Squib's trademark goes down, creates somewhat of a slow effect, you can see that the plant will possibly go down, but will the clutch come out as well?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's going to know exactly where Squib is right here. Knows exactly where he is, but he doesn't know there's one on the flank. Well, does now because he just shot that, but I mean, there's not a lot Gambit can do. I mean, he's just got to wait and be prepared to take these gunfights here because, I mean, there's not a lot he can do.
Playing it slow and steady. Force their hand. No, you got the old defuse out, and even then Gambit's got to speed things up if he has any chance of winning this, but instead he doesn't get it. He does get every single kill in the lobby, but nonetheless, you see UNA grabbing their last round here in the half to make it an 8-4 half overall in terms of this game, at least on map 1 thus far. So even then, regardless, a very rocky start. We saw 2 rounds finesse there for the early stages of UNA. And quite honestly, the biggest problem for UNA was these retakes. They didn't have really too much of an influence. They didn't play for the retakes because I don't think they were confident enough to be working for that. Well, what do we compare retakes to? Well, when you're right on the attacking side, that means the plan is down. You get to speed things up. You get to get onto site. You get to take control of it in your own respect, knowing that defenders are going to be there. A team is going to be set up. They're going to have these angles they're holding. Well, now we got to see whether or not UNA can step up and do that same exact thing when the role is given to them, knowing that they start on this attacking side. They choose where the fight goes, and they have to find these initial kills to really set the tone for the map.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if they get those easy pickoffs right at the beginning and be able to push aside and be confident in their gunfights, I mean, that'll be huge. Wow, Dan Toaster sniping with the ghost right there. Insane. And I mean, that's just tough. Starting right off the half, I mean, you've got your first attacking, you go, Squib's already down. So, I mean, they're going to have to play this very slowly because, I mean, they know they're going A at this point. So everyone's just going to go A. Puts out JSU. And, I mean, UNA, they've either got to look for a pick here or just push and hope for the best. I mean, there's not a lot they can do here.
I mean, now there'd have to be a really, really fast rotation, but you know darn well JSU would hear that. So instead they just go ahead, press that W key, find themselves getting onto site, finding a respective trade there to work things out. But Panda Boat already playing behind crate, able to find him one kill of his own as well. Knowing that spike down, you know SPH is on site. You get the read from the recon dart. Guppy gets picked off right there towards window. So everybody else is dead on the side of UNA. You can include SPH in that equation as well, as we see JSU now going up 9-4, grabbing their pistol round at least for the second half, and saying we're going to go ahead and elongate this lead. We're going to find a force right here. We're going to go ahead and capitalize on that.
I mean, like I said, I feel like UNA is kind of just worried on where Dan is. I mean, he just sat in mid the whole time and then flanked. As UNA was just getting slaughtered by everyone else that they weren't really paying attention to, it feels like. I mean, UNA just seems a little, what's the word, like, discombobulated. Like, they don't really know what they want to do. They're not very confident in their pushes. And they feel like they don't expect what's coming to them right now, almost.
It's almost that mental effect that we mentioned earlier. I mean, Dan Toaster going completely off thus far. He's showing that he has a lot of potential in him. I mean, showing that, I mean, he is the intimidation factor. And when you sit there and run into a monster like that, the first thing you have to do is rob him of his teeth. Well, Cornflake Killer's the biggest monster to deal with right now, and if anything, he's just going to keep doing his thing. He's going to find himself a 3K, looking for possibly the ace, because he's got to manage this kill first. Goes ahead and picks off Vocula as well. Last player standing is SPH. Knowing he's going to pick up that spike and make a play because they don't have a buy anyways. He's going to finesse whenever he can, at least go ahead and rob some of these weapons out, but in the meantime, Cornflake Killer having nearly no HP remaining, but the guy, I know he still wants this ace extremely bad, but the rest of the team's going to set up across the map, looking to go ahead and find these little cutoffs, create these little bit of roadblocks, I'd say, or at least speed bumps for the likes of SPH. And he's got to check every single corner, and he does check that first one to the left, grabs the kill onto SPH, but even then, Cornflake Killer there for the exchange, grabs the ace for the round, and that's going to be old JSU find themselves a 10th, getting that double-digit checkpoint I talk about so much.
I mean, yeah, it's almost like UNA couldn't really do nothing against that. It felt like, Cornflake Killer's aim was on point right there, and it was just easy pickings almost.
Yeah, it's not looking too good thus far. I mean, we sat there, we don't see too much of a switch up on the defense. We see them being intimidated here on the attacking side already. I mean, this is a retaliation round, I'll give it to them. So this is where things are supposed to step up and where they can run away with the game. But they have to play nearly a flawless game of Valorant every time, or every single round, every second passes point, to really go ahead and show that they still have themselves a fighting chance in this map thus far, because things are looking pretty bad, as we're being quite honest already. So already finding themselves a little bit of influence on site, a clean one and a free one at that. I mean, we see UNA having full control of this. It was almost literally given up by the side of JSU because they're playing completely for retakes. I think it's a really good idea. They excelled on that attacking side. They really know how to push on the side, get aggressive. We can already see Thrax find that first pick, making sure to equalize things out. It's going to be no money here, able to find one with this Phantom as well, and Squib gets that first little shot out, but can't really manage anything there. So Vocula finding one as well. A 3v3, Guppy in there towards Hell, able to manage one. Can't make a second though because Gambit finds that kill there. Now to 2v2, and we see, oddly enough, that both players for the side of UNA playing towards arches, playing long, playing off utility because Vocula is still alive and well. Gambit finesses one. It's now a 1v1 scenario. You got the defuser, you have an Ender Swarm popped as well. Gambit sitting at 47 health, Vocula at full HP. Playing towards arches, looking to go ahead and get the swing on this player, but instead, Gambit clutches things out. Hey. Can't find the defuse though. He's gonna go out with a little bit of pride.
I mean, hey, you got the pick off. No one's alive here, but that is a kind of a big round for UNA right there. I mean, them able to just push through, get that bomb control and get bomb down and start letting that timer go down and make JSU make the move. I mean, that was some good play right there from the side of UNA. Did everyone die? Yeah. But you got a round win. Everyone else on the other team died as well. So, I mean, it's kind of just an even fight at this point. I mean, wow. I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. 24-6 and 22-5 between Dan and Gambit. That's crazy.
Yep, disgusting set lines for them. And even then, in a round like that, quite honestly, that's the best case scenario you could ask for when you don't win the round just outright. Knowing that all these players got ripped out, knowing that the econ's going to switch up, knowing that UNA invested everything to have some kind of relevancy in this game to buy up in that last round, saying that you literally just ran that round purely off Spectres and Marshals. You picked up a gun. You managed the rest of the round with that from what was given to you off the necessary picks that you grabbed right off the get-go. So, I mean, now they had themselves a buy. They have the upper hand here. They can find themselves an easy 11-5 and get this game that much more to a countdown that's really just a ticking time bomb that UNA's worried about so much. And they have to get themselves 6 rounds to really tie things up after that if things really do go south here. So they're trying to manage whatever they can. They're trying to get a little bit scrappy with this attacking side little approach, but I don't know how scrappy you can get when you see SPH getting a little bit worrisome getting onto site. Can't really manage too much of a hit when you know that you got 2 Nano Swarms under your body and you just don't have the magazine size there. But No Money here does at least grab 1 kill with that old incendiary grenade. So that's an even exchange for the side of UNA, but they got to pick up these weapons. They got to make the most of this. And everybody playing back, Squib with the only one that has a Vandal in hand. Can't manage that kill into Dan Toaster. With Dan still being alive and with the retake coming into fruition here, he's going to play aggressive. He's going to push this side as hard as he possibly can. And I mean, I wouldn't doubt he grabs at least 2 kills in the process, but manages at least 1, can't grab the second. No Money here goes ahead and grabs that. Vocula in the back towards Boathouse, managing one of her own. It all comes out of the 2v2. You got both players right there towards the edge. You have No Money here being one of these players alive, and Thrax has to be in this clutch scenario. The bottom frag for JSU has to come to light here. Really light up the stage and light up these players as well. With nothing but a Vandal in hand, wants to play things slow and steady, wants to know that he has himself the correct amount of intel, but with 20 seconds remaining on his knife, he has nothing to work with. Instead, he just has himself a dead body, and No Money here has a 4K for the round.
I mean, No Money here just stepped up. He just stepped up right there, hitting those shots, and just being in the right position at the right time, and just that was some pretty good Valorant play right there from No Money here. Just clutching up right there, saying, hey, we're not out of this just yet. We're not out of this just yet. I mean, we can still come back and potentially win this map. I mean, that was huge though for UNA right there to get that map win or that round win right there. I mean, that kind of crippled JSU's economy slightly, but I mean, it looks like they're not even going for rifles this round. I mean, it looks like they're just there. They're gonna just save here. They already lost that round. I mean, they're down 3 already. I mean, if they can get a flawless here, that would be huge for UNA's economy.
It definitely would. I mean, this is the best case scenario for them. This is what they have to go ahead and work out because, I mean, things are looking pretty bad for them thus far. And now being down 4 rounds, making the game look a lot much more plausible, I would say. I mean, knowing that they're on the defensive side, they're not really trying to invest too much. You saw them get aggressive towards that A area. I mean, that's the best thing you can really do. Sure, you can play slow, you can play for corners, but I think they're just going ahead and trying to speed the game up, saying, look, we have ourselves a safety net in terms of rounds. We can finesse whatever we need to. Grab the necessary kills. We sat there, already started at least. We got 1 weapon out of them. We picked off Squib, and the other 4 players are still standing. We go ahead and pick up these guns. We know we lose this out, so let's not stress about anything. If we can manage 1 more kill, get Gambit a gun in hand, we don't have to invest it in the next round. And we're sitting fine and dandy, but already the crossover there in the middle. Guppy and no money here, set up towards that tree section. Going ahead, watching the area towards mid for a little bit of a cutoff. Finds the kills and finds UNA their 7th round here to be working with. So now a little bit more of an equal game, I would say, on our hands. Our 3-round deficit for UNA as they're sitting at 7-10. But JSU has 4 ultimates, and they have themselves a buy in this round. UNA, they have themselves a buy, obviously. But thing is, Squib really doesn't. Instead, he has that 24, so going to be going ahead and possibly using in this round to get a little bit somewhat of a free eco to be working with. And knowing that that 24 is just so darn strong, they're going to completely rely on this guy. I mean, he's the IGL for him. He's the one making the calls here. So, I mean, you have to sit there and trust that he's going to find the necessary picks to create the game plan that he really sets onto the table for his team.
I mean, if UNA gets a round 1 right here, I mean, that'll be huge to tie everything up. Like in a few rounds from now. I mean, they've won what 3 in a row now. They've been playing very aggressive. They've been getting their pickoffs. They've been winning their gunfights and whatnot. I mean, they've been playing some very good Valorant this attacking side right here. And it looks like they're gonna go ahead and get this B push right here. Or maybe just wait it out, either way. But Squib's just sitting mid right now, just waiting for someone just to peek out. Oh no, he's with them, never mind, yeah.
From what we see, I mean, it looks like from the observer view at least, we saw everybody was sitting in smokes there for a little while. So not too much intel to be given, but finally some intel on site. We saw that Panda Boat misses a couple shots there in Boathouse. Vocula makes the extensive trade there and says, okay, now we're 1 for nothing. Now we're 1 for 1. KO's down as well. And where is he standing? Well, right there in the middle of B side. I'm going to go ahead and keep that suppression down for everybody else. He worked for the revive, used it almost as somewhat of a little bit of a peek to force Squib out of his hand and get onto site. But instead, it whips out the 24s. Can't manage to kill. Last second, you go ahead and pick up your KO as well. And that's going to be JSU picking up 1 more round for themselves, fighting at 11th as UNA is now going to be down 4 rounds, making their comeback that much more difficult.
I mean, KO's a broken hero. How can it be res? That's stupid. But nevertheless, I mean, UNA seemed a little sloppy right there. I mean, I feel like once there's a lot of chaos happening in the round, I feel like they're not able to almost focus on what they need to get done.
Yeah.
Like focusing on the picks that they need to pick up or the gunfights or start shaking a little bit from how much is going on. And I mean, JSU seems to just have that composure just to win their gunfights, have confidence in themselves, and win those rounds that they're needing. I mean, that was a huge round for JSU right there to try and potentially just seal this map off completely.
And that's the problem with teams that have strats versus teams that sit there and know they just straight up frag better. They go ahead if you know you frag that much better. If you have 2 teammates that both have 20+ kills, and Dan Toaster's now coming up on a 30K,
Oof.
that makes things very, very difficult when you're sitting there saying, what can we do for this? Well, obviously, the biggest priority is to go ahead and avoid this player. We're on the attacking side. If we see that jet, we can go ahead and choose to go to the other side of the map. But then you go ahead and force yourself into a retake situation. And at that stage in the game, if you're on the side of JSU, you know that you can play for retakes. You can play that attacking side, being you did such an impressive job when you did it the first time around. So you play for complete retake. You throw every single piece of utility out and grab every kill in the game. But speaking of kills, Vocula starts off with the first one there because that picks off Panda Boat. You know that B site's now completely free. You get that plant down, but what kind of backup is there? You have everybody on JSU lined up in the middle, and you have Guppy coming around for the flank, going ahead, grabbing Dan Toaster. That's a massive pick, but can't manage to kill on the Gambit with his entire magazine going down the drain. So it now comes down to Thrax. Cornflake Killer and Gambit all alive and well, looking to go ahead and win out this 3v3. Everybody has rifles. Everybody has util to work with. The Hunter's Fury's already come through for Gambit. He hasn't found too much damage with it, but UNA isn't exactly healthy. They definitely have some damage done, and Cornflake Killer finds the first one on the squib. Nobody here makes an exchange there on site to go ahead and pick off Cornflake Killer, but still playing for the post, playing off site. The last one that's on site is going to be Vocula, looking to clutch things out to 2v1, sitting up against Gambit and Thrax, who now is both swinging over towards the side of this whole area. Finds at least one. Vocula picks off Thrax, and the last one's Gambit. She manages to go ahead and clutch things out. A 3K for the girl in 8th round for UNA.
I mean, hey, all she had to do was just sit back there and wait. I mean, that's all time was on her side right there. And I mean, even though she died, I mean, that's a huge round right there for UNA. I mean, it seems like it's back and forth right now. And I mean, UNA is just going to need a few more good punches right here to try and catch up, so that way JSU doesn't get into a match point here. But I mean, UNA's fighting right now. UNA is fighting right now. No money here's got that one huge round with the 3K or the 4K. Vocula up to 19 kills now as well. I mean, it seems like the stat board alone is starting to like kind of even out a little bit as Vocula. Ooh, wait, Dan Toaster with the ult. First time all game we've seen him with that Knife Storm or whatever it's called. But I mean,
Blade Storm.
Yeah, I'm still learning terminology in this game, so bear with me on that. But I mean, looks like UNA's gonna be pushing this A site very, very aggressively. But woo, that's PSH goes first. But nobody here gets that good trade off on the Dan Toaster right there. That's a huge pick. They're able to just push through and get this probably this plant for free right here.
Yeah, UNA in good standing, already having themselves a 4v3 scenario on their hands, and they also got the spike down to work with as well. So a pretty comfortable situation for themselves, especially knowing all the tough shoes they've been trying to fit into thus far. This is probably the most comfortable set that they've put on. So as they go ahead, work for a little bit of a retake on the side of JSU, they sit there and all play from heaven. No real split from them. Nobody going for door. Nobody trying to go for a flank. And even then, they only have Sheriffs in hand, but they managed to get themselves at least a couple kills in the process, with Vocula having nearly no HP at her hands and literally just looking dead as a stand. She'd play over there towards Wine, looking to play off of her nano swarm grenades. But Guppy's going to be the one on site, getting a little bit aggressive, looking to fight Gambit in a one-on-one, but still on the edge going to be old Gambit, able to manage one onto Vocula. You know that she's going to be out for the count. And now playing a little bit of a ring around the rosy with old Guppy. Can't manage the defuse there. You're not going to find this round, but congratulations, Gambit. You've done it again. You switched up the econ, you've sat there and found yourself a lost round, but you at least picked off every single weapon out of the hands of these UNA players, making their job that much more difficult for the next one.
But I mean, hey, UNA's getting those round wins. I mean, if they're able to trade out every single round, I feel like they'll be able to do something and potentially win the map off that if they're able to keep up this momentum. Especially, I mean, if they keep picking off Dan Toaster here. I mean, if they pick him off, it seems like the whole JSU side kind of just like, it's like, oh crap, you know, like, oh no, we got to now clutch this up because he's not here for us. And they may lose a little confidence after he just dies, you know, or gets picked off. And I mean, it looks like we're gonna get this B push right here from there. But Panda Boat does get the judge gameplay. We like that all day. Oh, Dan Toaster on the Vocula. That's a huge pick.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Dan Toaster with an operator just yet, because typically on this map, you'll see a jet playing towards mid with the op, and you know that, I mean, the UNA has smokes, obviously, so they're going to be utilizing those, but even then, playing towards B main, playing towards A main, fighting a free pick, and then going ahead and tailwinding out, that would be a massive play for Dan, but he just doesn't feel comfortable with that operator, and I don't blame the guy. He's done such an impressive job thus far with the Guardian, or not with the Guardian, excuse me, that's what Guppy's running right now, still looking to manage somewhat of a budget buy, but I mean, yeah, the Vandal, he's just done such a great job now sitting at a 30K. I mean, you just can't sit there and say, why not do this, why not do that? He's showing that he's doing work with what he's got at his disposal. So now you got to do work to go for this retake, because UNA has the plant down. They're over here stationed on the A side, and you got everybody else going ahead and just trying to stack on top of this. Everybody, once again, trying to play from heaven. And we saw, as sketchy as a play as it may be, they still finessed that last round as best they could and picked off all the players respectively. So now, as it's now 2v1, Dan Toaster and Gambit being the last two alive, those are the two top frags. And that, you know, when no money here runs into those two players, it's going to be a very, very difficult situation to win that out, as we do see them both surviving and grabbing their 12th here as we see JSU going to match point.
I mean, hey, UNA, I have a little faith they were able to come back and at least have some type of impact on this map right here to be able to take it on to the next one. Be like, look, very close match, map 1. We know what we need to do. We know what to do now. Maybe we can get that early advantage in the second map here and potentially take it to a map 3.
And I got word from production saying that JSU, according to them, they've said they're good to see intel that Dan doesn't op. He doesn't like touching that gun. So honestly, more power to you, quite honestly, because Jets, a lot of the time when they're on the defensive side, they go ahead and get a little bit over aggressive with the operator, and they want to sit there and find these plays. Well, Dan Toaster looking to get a little bit over aggressive in that one round, trying to finesse some crazy kill with the updraft, but buddy, you had nothing but a gun. You didn't have the blades to work with there. That was a very, very odd encounter from the side of that man. Probably getting a little overzealous, trying to joke around a little bit, possibly BM, but the only one getting BM'd is you, big dog, because even then, you have the old KJ shutdown come through. Detain no money here as he's still trying to push up with literally not able to do anything at the same time, but Squid with the 24 managed to kill. So now a 3v3, 2 ultimates on the board for UNA being popped currently, and everybody else at JSU looking to go ahead and just hold down sight, knowing that nobody's pushing up. Nobody's really playing the game thus far. Squib is trying to play very aggressively towards the middle of the map on these arches, looking for somewhat of a rotation, but the only ones rotating are UNA towards this A site. And you do get that knife down if you're KO. You get the intel. You know that Noah's going ahead and put down the likes of that old spike on the A site. So you play for a retake. And once again, every single time, I'm surprised by JSU's setup because they're not really playing for door. But maybe this time, Panda Boat does opt to go for that door play and just go on ahead and being met with some utility, knowing that Guppy is going to be playing there, Squib as well. The only one on site is going to be no money here, and you have to double swing this guy. You have to sit there and get the shots, and there it is. Gambit alive and well to carry his team to success here. Looking for at least one, has to find 2 more, and Guppy manages 2 of his own. Squib manages the last there. And 2 players still standing as we see UNA grabbing their 11th, or excuse me, their 10th.
I mean, hey, that's what you need to do. You need to make sure that Dan gets a little too overconfident, tries to go for a little funny shot there, like you did right there, and take advantage of that round. I mean, with their top frag gone, I mean, you instantly lose confidence in their... Like, JSU instantly loses confidence, like, oh no, top frag's gone, you know? I mean, like, now we gotta do something, and I mean, when some of these players on the side of JSU just haven't had the greatest of math, I mean, it makes it a little harder, especially when you have Volcula, Squib even, and no money here, just still alive, you know?
Well, we see that Slow and Steady is going to be the name for old UNA in this round alone because they already have themselves sort of a more aggressive buy in their hands, and they've already heard a Marshall shot at a Cornflake Killer. So they're saying, okay, well, they're on a budget, obviously. They're not going to have too much to really stack things up here. So this is going to be a free 11-12 if we can just go ahead and get ourselves on site, play for the retake, and sit there and just hold ourselves a pretty darn good defense. Problem is, Squib is already lit up like a Christmas light. Guy's sitting on 12 health, then he's already dead as well. So that goes ahead and gives JSU the lead in terms of manpower as Gambit actually goes ahead and falls. So now things are equalized, and that's one of your bigger top frags to the side of JSU already going ahead and falling here. So that makes the job harder for the rest of the team, but Dan Toaster is still alive and well somewhere around the map, looking to come back towards the heaven section, but now working that flank, going ahead. Yep, pushing up into arches now, trying to find these respective kills. Go ahead and get an idea where these players are at. The last one seems to be SPH. With that raid in hand, having nothing but a Spectre, it's going to be a really, really tough situation when you've got one player defusing. You got Thrax trying to work things out. Cornflake Killer has absolutely no health remaining and can't find the kills, and there's SPH with a 3-man clutch, able to go ahead and get UNA their 11th.
SPH just went crazy right there to try and clutch it up for UNA right there. I mean, 1v3... You killed their top frag when he had a Phantom right there, but I mean, money-wise, I mean, this is all or nothing right now. I mean, no money here getting another timeout in. I guess probably just getting like a, hey, guys, let's calm down. We're good. We win these next 2, and we're good, you know? Going to overtime. But...
You only need 1 to go in overtime.
You said what?
You only need 1 to go in overtime. 12 is match point. If you get a 13 before the other team hits 12, you win the game out. So they need 1 more round to go into overtime, and they have to win 2 consecutively to sit there and win out the game. So that makes things a lot more difficult for them, knowing how, we want to say, I'm not going to say bad, but lacking their defensive side was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they can get that 1 defensive round win, I mean, that'll boost UNA's confidence up. Because, look, we can do this on attack. We know what we're doing on attack. If we can get our defense down for at least a round, we could probably just end up and win this map altogether. I mean, that'll be huge if they can get that defensive side win and then come through and just steamroll on attack like they kind of have been this second half. I mean, UNA's been putting on a show. They've been coming clutch. I mean, the side of UNA is just kind of going crazy, and I feel like JSU's kind of gotten a little complacent. They're like, oh, we just kind of steamrolled on attack. I mean, it'll just kind of be whatever. And now I feel like potentially that it might be too late to try and come back from something like that. Especially with UNA kind of going on fire right now.
And the crazy thing for me is going to be that, I mean, honestly, JSU isn't just playing for retakes. They had such an impressive attacking side. Even on Thrifties, they make it like one player standing. Even in 2 of those rounds won by UNA, they all died in the process. They were both Thrifty rounds for the side of JSU, and they still managed every single kill. They went ahead and completely diminished all their characters. So why aren't you playing that same kind of strategy when you see that you have the upper hand, when you know you have an equal playing ground? If you can win rounds like that where you don't have all the gun power, where's the same kind of pace of game? Where's the same retake power that we saw prior? Well, there's some of it right there. A huge defense at a core plate kill over to go ahead and manage 2 with that Odin on the B side playing very, very sneakily, excuse me, on A. But, I mean, everybody else sitting there having answers like accordingly, saying, look, now we see a Hunter's Fury coming through from Gambit. He's going ahead and stalling towards Arch, just making sure that we don't want to run right down the middle because we're going to find ourselves getting tagged off that. And no one here can't risk that. The guy's already looking pretty lit, and that would possibly be one-shot kill, knowing his health threshold thus far. But Thrax looking for a lineup, trying to play his Kobe a little bit, but the only one really playing Kobe thus far is me, Vocula. Playing right back towards Wine, trying to play very, very slow towards back, finds one kill there on the Panda Boat in heaven. And now it's a 3-on-3 as we see JSU once again trying to play for a retake. They get eyes on Guppy, they get eyes on the money here as well, and they're trying to find these kills to make sure their job is that much easier. I
mean, UNA's just trying to stall time here, because, I mean, if they can just stall the time, they'll be all right. I mean, Dan Toaster's in there right now. Ooh. 1v2 situation. Volcula's got to go crazy here. I mean, he's going to have to stick it. He's going to have to stick it. Oh, Volcula with a clutch ace right there. That was impressive.
Grove says that one was for Mama.
That was for Mama.
Is Vocula the team Mama?
Maybe.
I think she's definitely deserved that title for herself. She's taking care of all of her kids, all of her teammates. She's carrying them wherever necessary. If anything goes south, she sits there and says, "Don't worry about it. I'll ace up. I'll clutch up. Whatever I gotta do, I gotta take care of the kids at the end of the day." And that's what it comes down to. It's them mama powers. You know, when you sit there and can't find something, you've looked for hours, and you're like, "I can't find this," and then somehow your mom just immediately finds it in like 2 seconds. That's Vocula when it comes around to rounds. UNA hasn't been able to find any, and Vocula's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll go ahead. Let me look for 2 seconds. I got yourself a tie game when we get an overtime on our hands." So already looking to go ahead and start things off. UNA looking to find an answer here. Go ahead, get themselves a pretty solid defending round, and you can see some aggression out of them. Money isn't going to be a problem here. They're not going to have any thrifties. Every single round past this point is an all or nothing in terms of economy, in terms of plays, in terms of every single bit counts. And anytime you have to either A, double down, or if you're the opposing side, it's going to be down around, you have to find yourself the answer. So quite honestly, it all comes down to whether or not we could see the same kind of impact out of these two players of Gambit and Dan Toaster really step things up to follow suit of what we saw in that first half.
I mean, JSU's playing this very slowly. They're playing this very slowly. They don't want any mistakes at this point. They're like, we dominated on attack. The fact that we're in overtime right now, we need to get it together. But SPH getting that huge kill on the cornflake right there. I mean, that's a great start on your defensive side, especially when you were struggling in the first half. That's a great start to try and just take this map altogether. I mean, the next step, either stay away or get rid of Dan. I mean, that's the only way you're going to have to win this. I mean, Gambit's popping off as well. But, I mean, Dan Toaster seems to just be the alpha threat altogether.
Dan and Gambit both had the same amount of kills. Gambit is actually leading the leaderboard right now, actually, having one less death and one more kill, with 2 more assists as well. They are both an equal threat. When you sit there and swim across the map on the defense, I'm surprised they haven't done that. Put Gambit over towards the B side. Put old Dan towards the A side. Play the aggression in both areas where you know you have a complete fragger. But we're talking about frags, you better see these immediately because with 7 seconds left on the clock and kills coming through just so instantaneously, we see JSU being completely forced up on this A side. They can't make a play. They have to push through arches, and it just doesn't come through. Literally a free round for the side UNA here on this defending side in the overtime, purely because we didn't see JSU go for a plan.
Yeah, JSU just played that way too slowly, and I mean, wow. I mean, UNA just came in clutch right there with that defending side right there. I mean, they were struggling that first half, and now they're going crazy. Even with the fact that there's 2 people on the enemy team dropping 30s, they are still composed. They're still like, okay, we know exactly what to do to win. And now if they just take this offense right here, they just win the map altogether. And I mean, that'll be huge, especially after the dominating attacking side from JSU that first half. I mean, that'll linger on into the second map, I believe.
Well, thing is, right now that UNA, they're looking for an A play. They're looking to get very aggressive, find themselves a full force, find no mid control, just completely run through A main. But I mean, they're going to be met by a lot of utility when you see Panda Boat with all of his Nano Swarm set up over there. Everybody else, I mean, just kind of looking to stack on top of that. And you see someone of a rotate, but you also still see someone of a, I would say, a Trojan horse in that respect. When you see the controller going ahead pushing out as well. And if you are nobody here, you want to play more towards the middle of the map. You want to sit there and get some smokes on towards B, give your KO that backup while still going ahead and get pressure on A as well. But instead, a better option, it seems, for UNA is they're just going ahead and pushing right up through B, looking to get this pressure, knowing that one star is right there towards B main, looking to go ahead and play those smokes. When you get one smoke on site, you get the respective answer there for Cornflake, saying, look, I'm going to pop a Nebula as on. I'm going to go ahead and get those smokes in on the field. And you got Dan Toaster on site and Thrax towards the back as well. But Squib already picks up damn, so that's one huge threat that's not even on the board anymore. Thrax needs to find one of the SPH, and he knows that he's playing back there towards the arches. And Vocula finds the kill with that turret onto Thrax. Excuse me. It's a 5v3, and we see UNA getting that spike down.
Hey, UNA just said, we're going to push in here, do something about it. With that Killjoy out as well, they got to wait even longer now. I mean, there's not JSU's in a pickle, to say the least. I mean, they need to get these picks and moving quickly, otherwise they just straight up lose the map.
Well,
SPH on the Panda Boat there. Oh, Gambit does get 2 there, which is a great start. Gambit's going to have to go crazy. But Vocula's there, and that's GG.
Wow.
What a comeback from UNA right there, especially after almost a mental breaking first half on their defensive side. And they were able to come back and fight to get that map win right there. I mean, that was a crazy map right there. That was crazy. That made me happy watching that, especially with the fact that Gambit and Dan Toaster had to combine 64 kills by themselves. Didn't matter. Vocula came clutch with that ace, taking it overtime. No Money here went crazy on that one round where he had 4 kills. Squib getting that first pick off from that attacking side, I think kind of just like took the cake for everybody. I mean, that was some good Valorant we just saw right there. I mean, coming from a bronze player, that was a pretty good Valorant I saw right there.
I mean, in all realness, so I mean, yeah, it was close in terms of the score and how everything was laid out, but we saw a lot of weaknesses from both of these teams. We saw them feel very lackluster. We saw a huge start out of the side of old JSU, and then they really slowed down the game on that defense. Quite honestly, every single round, or most of the rounds they won, were on the defensive side when they had thrifties. Why didn't they just capitalize on that same mentality, on that same approach once they got the guns in hand, knowing that still, okay, we see UNA, they have guns, they have Vandals, they have Phantoms, they have full armor as well, they have all the utility in the world, they're going to invest that going on the side. When we go for a retake, they're completely blind. Why don't we save our utility for that? Why don't we sit there and play for the retake completely, knowing our attacking side is that much more aggressive, and we still end up winning them when we have nothing but Sheriffs and Marshals? Why don't you play for that when you have Vandals and Phantoms? Why don't you just play back, knowing that Gambit, he sat there and was a massive player, finding just repeated kills across the board on so many different occasions. He was a constant threat. When you have him and Dan Toaster playing back-to-back off each other, I think that's just an undefeatable combo when you're sitting there working off each other, one giving the other intel, and then having that easy backup when it comes down to either a shock dart or an owl drone to check those nook and crannies. We just didn't see that out of them, and it really started to punish them over the course of the game. I mean, you saw them really, I want to say that was a choke for the side of JSU, quite plain and simple. I mean, they didn't play the game quick enough. We saw literally an overtime round for them completely get thrown down the drain because they said, you know what? Let's not even plant the spike. Let's not even move towards the site. Let's wait till the last 7 seconds. We got 3 to get onto site, and we got 4 to plant. And that's if everything goes perfect and there's nobody here. That's not going to be the case. But what is going to be the case is we're going to have the second map coming up because that's guaranteed. UNA is now leading the series, even on a map pick that wasn't even theirs because that was JSU. So once we come back from a short little break, because I think a couple of these players need a little bit of a potty break, we'll go ahead and throw things in or back around into bind, or we'll see whether or not we find the conclusion to this or whether or not we go to split. So we'll catch you here in a second. We're now going on to the second map in the series of the likes against JSU and UNA thus far. UNA taking that first map in overtime, winning the first 2 rounds of overtime back-to-back, making a very strong statement for themselves after a very weak start on that defensive side where they ended up going 4-8 in rounds. So as we now go to the second map, this is going to be UNA's pick. And quite honestly, when I've seen JSU play this map, they look to be like a force to reckon with equal compared to what we saw in Ascent. Because Cornflake Killer, I know he's going brown. I've seen it on so many different occasions. Excuse me, I think it's a she. I feel really bad about that. But
unknown.
I mean, but looking at what they've done thus far, Cornflake Killer was a huge force to be reckoned with the first time I saw JSU on this map. I mean, Cornflake Killer was easily the biggest threat, playing towards Shower every single round. And if we see the same thing here today, don't say I didn't call it. But Dan Toaster going ahead, doubling down on the duelist, playing aggressive, looking to go for that raise because it's just a much better option when it comes down to this map. Thing is, we're not lacking a raise on the side of UNA either. We're going for Guppy and Squib, playing those respective, I'd say, as pseudo-duelists and the real duels to back it up, and the double duels to come down with SPH wanting to run that Reyna as well. Knowing here we'll be running that controller, playing the Brim as well, and with the changes in effect, we didn't see much of an influence when it came around to the stims last time, so I don't think that's going to be too much of a change-up when we see the map this time. But Thrax looking to play a little bit more passive this time, not run the Initiator, looking to run a Sentinel, and I kind of like that playstyle from a little bit more so when you see that he didn't have too much of an impact on that first map. Thrax played very slow, didn't really, as an initiator, engage too many fights. So why not just play more passively? Work off these tripwires, work off these cages, and just pray that you still get enough intel for your team to where you're working with.
I mean, yeah. Talking about last map real quick, JSU kind of threw that, especially not playing that bomb on that attacking side after being so dominant. I mean, might have been a misplay, might have been just a confusion of comms or something like that. I mean, there's no telling, but UNA took straight advantage of that, and I feel like they're going to bring that confidence straight into this map right here and probably get the first easy 2, maybe 3 rounds right here, and then right before rifles start. I mean, there's no telling. I mean, I'm just excited to see what UNA does here because, I mean, after such a clutch performance from Vocula, no money here, Squib getting that pick off right at the beginning of their attacking side on that last round. I mean, I'm excited to see what UNA does, but I mean, JSU's just got to retaliate here. I mean, yeah, you lost that, you kind of threw. You just got a mental reset and just get ready for this map right here and take over, force it to a map 3.
And that's a big problem here in Valorant, is finding a mental reset. That's you can just say that, but it's a very, very difficult task. I mean, proven on so many different occasions here in this game, because when you go ahead, you see the rounds kind of collecting for one side after you had yourself a very, very impressive start. It makes it extremely difficult to figure out what's going on, what you messed up. And quite honestly, I can tell you at least one thing. Dan Toaster, do not updraft it towards Greats on B main for no reason when you have no blades for him to work with. That's a pretty good start, but that's going to be the last map. We're now moving on to Bind with the first map, or the first round, excuse me, coming into fruition here as we see already that UNA is pushing themselves on to the A side, looking to get aggressive, looking to find these kills and definitely get themselves a trade, but they got to double down. Which they've already done that. They friend themselves the spike plant. They have the intimidation factor. They have the aggression. They have the advantage. And SPH has another kill on his hands. As Gambit goes ahead and finds the exchange there. And you know that everybody else, they have to go ahead and push out quickly. And Cornflake Killer is going to do exactly that. Finding one kill, not finding another. But now it all comes down to Vocula versus Gambit.
I mean, I got Vocula on this one right here. I mean, he's just going to stick it probably. But no, that trap right there is going to force him off. Having to replay for something. Oh, but Vocula, nice shots right there from Vocula. Take that early first round right there. I mean, Dan Toaster went down first from SPH. I mean, if I was Dan, I'd be trying to find myself right now. Because, I mean, if you were going crazy last map and you choked like that, I mean, I have to go, like, do some soul searching or something like that to be able to refocus myself onto this map and just shrug off last map like it was nothing, and this is just now a 0-0 match. I mean, that's just the mentality you got to come into with this map.
And it's the same thing for JSU. They got to go ahead and pick off Vocula. You got to kill their mom. As terrible as that sounds, you got to kill UNA's mom. You got to get rid of Vocula. You got to get her off this map because she's always going to clutch things up. I mean, typically 9 times out of 10, we've seen her be very successful and have a really good ratio when it comes around to making sure these rounds work out in their favor. So, I mean, all things considered, we see somewhat of a stretch coming out from Cornflake Killer, looking to push up in showers instead. Excuse me, old U-Haul or Hookah everywhere on the map. I can't make my call-outs right now, man. I don't know what's going on. But regardless, nonetheless, neither could JSU in that last map. So we'll go ahead and put that to the side. But all things considered, you already see the aggression going on to this B site. You see the players trying to push on the outside, but instead we see UNA looking to double down. Say, let's hit this TP. Valkyrie grabs a kill with that turret. Wants to push down onto A, going right through showers, and the rest of the team is there to back her up because, I mean, you already see everybody flooding in right through the main, right through showers, and Valkyrie instead looking to play for a little bit of a post plant as she's supposed to.
I mean, that was some good plays right there from UNA. You're up 1, bombs down, and the enemy team just really wasn't ready for it. Oh, nice shots from Squib right there. Actually insane. No money here gets Gambit, and I mean, this looks like it's going to be another easy round for the side of UNA. Someone that wasn't even that confident last round is now in a 1v4 situation. I mean, what can you do, you know?
Well, it all comes down because UNA's already called for a backup, so that's a good start there. You go ahead, find yourself a triple swing, and you find yourself a free kill. So that's UNA going up 2-0 here in this map thus far, looking to double things down in terms of map counts, but it all starts with where you go ahead and get yourself these first couple rounds, and with them starting 2, is this a repeat of what we saw last map, but are we going to go ahead and follow suit? Are we going to see the exchange? Are we going to see once again that, I mean, after these first 2 very good rounds, to go and start things off, get yourself the pistol and the force, are we going to see the likes of, you know, JSU completely go off here once they get these rifles in hand? Because we've seen them do that. Every single time they get themselves some guns to be working with, they become a completely different team that becomes so much stronger. And I mean, whether or not they do this again, finally, Cornflake Killer going right back to that respective spot, getting really ready towards that shower section, looking to grab some free kills. And there it is, already finding one. Couldn't find the second headshot to really go ahead and work things out. And that's going to be a free gun for the side of UNA to pick things up, where you say, all right, now I got a free Phantom to work with as well. Even then, you already got Squib with the authority force to be playing with.
I mean, yeah, Squib is just like, you can get these pickoffs, those would be huge right here. That's a huge kill right there. That's huge. 3v3 situation. And I mean, if they're able to just get some kills, you know, I mean, that cripples the economy for the side of JSU because, I mean, they've spent a lot of money this round trying to get these rifles and whatnot. So, I mean, if they can get these picks off, but, ooh, Dan Toaster on the SPH right there. Valkyla and Squib. 2v3 situation. Valkyla's at a disadvantage here because SMG versus rifle, that range, I mean, not a lot you can do. Squib being so patient as well, just waiting for Panda Boat to make a move here. He knows he's there. There's no way he doesn't. Just waiting for the right second.
He had the opportunity earlier. I mean, we saw that double swing come through once Squib found that first pick. Panda was going to try and peek that, but I mean, ended up to go ahead and say that by that time, Squib was going right back around to A main and just wasn't ready there with the slow field backing it up. So looking to go ahead and double things down, trying to play for the site. We see Dan Toaster able to grab that other kill as well. Playing towards heaven, knowing that the spike is going to be there. Squib does not have enough time to rotate here. He cannot go over towards B. That is not an option right now. You go for another swing, you wait for the plant, you get the idea, you get the intel to be working with as well. And there's a shots to come through with Dan Toaster grabbing a 3K for this one. As we do see an exchange coming through for the side of JSU, they find this first round to answer onto the board, and they get themselves a pretty clean start. 3 players still alive, 3 rifles still in their hand, knowing that UNA is going to be buying up in this round and there's no Torty Force to work with anymore. Things are going to get a little bit more scratchy here.
Yeah, I mean, JSU just played that a lot better than UNA did. I mean, maybe not a lot better. They just got a few more pickoffs right there in their gunfights. And I mean, I think that's where they'll start to excel, is these early rifle rounds when people aren't as confident in their gunfights. JSU just comes out and they're like, yeah, we're confident. We'll challenge you all day. And there's nothing you can really do about it. It's either you're going to kill me or I'm going to kill you. And most of the time it's just been them killing them.
So as we see, a very slow and steady start, but Guppy going ahead and heading to the races, finding that first kill onto Cornflake Killer, who wasn't playing towards showers, instead playing towards the outside of B this time around. Looking to grab that free easy kill with the Judge, but can't really finesse it. But Thrax and Mundar are already sitting on site with alive and well a Phantom in hand. So managing 1 kill onto Guppy, knowing that Duelist is now going to be down, and you're trying to play things out and say, look, we have to hold down the site. Pretty hard to do when you know you got a cage coming down, looking to lock things out and tame some players, and you're just not going to see it. Instead, you're going to see a 3v4 now on the field for the side of JSU to go ahead and step things up and find a clutch because they're really outnumbered thus far. But they go ahead and equalize things. Panda Boat finds the kill to no money here. You have control of the side if you're UNA, and you're just waiting for the retake to happen for here from JSU. And Gambit starts things off with an old fragment grenade to find at least one.
And I mean, this is going to be very, very tough for UNA to try and hold down Valkyla in a 1v3. And unfortunately, she does go down. And it's going to be another round for the side of JSU right there. And I mean, it's almost like a history repeating itself right here from last map. I mean, UNA got the first 2 rounds, but then once those rifles started coming out, it seemed like they were kind of lacking just slightly. And we might be getting an operator this round. Oh, no, I'm tripping. That's a judge. That's a judge.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, UNA, I mean, they just got to start winning their gunfights. I mean, they were playing very aggressively, very nicely at the beginning. And I mean, once those rifles started coming out, there wasn't a lot that they could do, it feels like. I mean, they just got to start winning their gunfights, and they'll be able to take control and win a few rounds.
I mean, I think that's all it really comes down to, because I mean that's always going to be the case. But I mean, it also comes down to the setups, because we've seen Cornflake Killer on this shower so many different times and having a lot of success as well. But not really looking to peak on that time around. We saw Dan Toaster looking to get aggressive towards the edge and find a couple shots on the SPH as they did exchange a little bit of damage there to be working with. But honestly, I think it's much more beneficial here for the side of JSU, knowing that SPH is going to be that duelist to get aggressive on the site, find those initial kills, being one of those duelists, because Guppy's the other one, and SPH has really played a pretty big cornerstone thus far. But Vocula, talking about cornerstones, here she comes, able to find that first kill to go ahead and start off the round, pick off that chamber out of Panda Boat here on that towards the B side. And that creates some tension towards the B side for the side of old JSU, saying, what do we do here? Well, obviously, they're probably going to find some picks, so let's go ahead and rotate. We're going to have one anchor in the back anyways, and even I feel like we're getting a little bit overzealous towards this site. So, speaking of overzealous, there is Squib, and there is Cornflake Killer, also finding a 2 beats of his own, now making a third. Huge picks for the player, looking to go ahead and double things out. But even then, you don't have to worry about doubling anything down. You picked out the only 3 players, and you've given your team the advantage in terms of manpower. So you're looking to play off of this, knowing that UNA does not have a plant just yet, and they don't even have control of the spike.
I mean, that was huge for JSU to just come through and just take over like that. I mean, it was almost instant. Squib did get a pick, but I mean, doesn't matter. Squib does pick up that bomb, and it looks like they are going to go to... Oh, I don't know what they're going to be doing, really. Oh, nice little fake out from Squib. What a nice fake out right there.
I don't think he has a plan. Oh, that was literally milliseconds.
That was very close.
But does get it down.
Stays right here. He stays right here. He's good.
You think he stays right here the entirety of this round?
Yeah,
with a judge in?
Mm-hmm. Someone's gonna push that, guaranteed.
That's fair. You know somebody will, but even then, he's the one who's pushing. He goes ahead and finds his way out of his towers and does manage the 3K of his own. Picks up the Phantom, makes the plays, gets the clutch, and gets UNA now their 3rd round.
That was a good play right there from Squib. That was very good. Faked them all out to go to B, and then was able to get a free plant onto A. Or do I have that vice versa? I might have that vice versa. Nevertheless, Squib just went crazy right there to try. He used a little mind games. He used his util beautifully and was able to just be patient, push through, and get those few judge kills, and was able to clean up after that. I mean, good plays right there from my boy Matt.
And even then, we saw Cornflake Killer back there towards the spawn, looking to go ahead and get these kind of plays, turn things around. But one thing that could turn things around is be Panda Boat with this torty force of his own this round. Looking to go ahead, play towards heaven, trying to find these free and easy kills as Dan Toaster gets some free intel towards that shower section, knowing that there's a wild Guppy and a wild SPH in the air, as these duels are typically going to sit together to play for the most aggression possible. So everybody stacked on this A site thus far from the side of UNA, playing towards A main, looking to get some control. Opting to TP if things really do go south. But instead, you see Guppy looking to get aggressive, trying to play towards this U-Haul, trying to find a kill as well, and even then get any kind of intel in the process, but not really opting to use that boombot just yet. Instead, now, whipping out the showstopper, throwing it to the side for a second because he's suppressed. Can't use it yet, and that's probably going to be the entirety of the fuse because the man can whip it out. That is a shutdown ultimate, and there's a huge play from JSU making sure to make things go that much slower. But speaking of slow, if you're UNA, you're trying to slow the game down. You know that timer's ticking down. Valorant finds that first kill. Everybody on JSU is trying to push up. Dan Toaster finds a kill to nobody here, and the rest of the squad's trying to push on accordingly, but they're still sitting in the back of sight. They're still on the opposite side of the truck. They're still sitting towards heaven, and it's a 4v4.
I mean, Cornflake Killer's in the back, but so weak, you can't really do nothing about that. I mean, oh, this will be huge. Oh, but Valkyla gets the better gunplay right there. That's just unfortunate. And as the bomb is getting defused right now, I mean, he's going to have to... Oh, wow. Valkyla with a 3K that round. I mean, that was a great round for UNA right there. That was a great round right there. I mean, that that just lets you know it's just like, yeah, we're still in this. It's not going to be a repeat as last map. I mean, we're going to be able to win some rounds here. Keep our economy good. Get that bomb down. Play fast, and we'll be good. You know. And JSU's wasn't really ready for all that to really happen. They were just kind of potentially like expecting that same thing was going to happen again. Just win like 4 in a row, 5 in a row, and then take over from there. But I mean, UNA's fighting right now. They've got that confidence from last map, and now they're just going crazy.
Most definitely are, and I mean, even then, you can already see them looking to play off this. UNA has themselves 4 ultimates to work with. They get all the intel in the world to really push onto a site and not really get punished at all, but they don't have to worry about that. This is a budget round. Even then, SPH still says, you know what, why not? Even then, Vocula backs him up, says, why not? Let's pop 2 of these ultimates. It's going to be an eco round for the side of old JSU, but we're still going to overinvest. We're still going to get aggressive with this, and Thraxamundar still finds a kill. But thankfully, Vocula is able there to go ahead and back things up, find the extensive trade, and Gambit looking for a trade of his own, but can't really manage that. Squib finds the kill, now a 2v4 with both players for the side of JSU trying to play towards spawn, trying to go ahead and push right back through this back section spawn to play for the B site, but honestly, you're not finding the control. SPH going to be your first line of defense, and he's at full health, having the Empress, having those heals to really pop off earlier, and sure, the Empress has now gone away, but in the meantime, you have enough utility to still be playing with. You still have another heal, slash dismiss, whatever you want to utilize it for. If you're JSU, though, you're just pushing up. You're managing whatever kills you can. Dan Toaster finds 1 onto SPH. Vocula finds 3, though, for the round, closing out Dan and Panda Boat, making sure that's another round win here for UNA as they find themselves 5.
Woo! No money here. Almost lost everything right there. I mean, he almost lost everything right there. If an extra second went by, he would have just died. But, I mean, once again, UNA's just, they're pushing through, getting that bomb down, getting that first pick, and I mean, they're doing good right now. I mean, UNA's kind of on a roll. I'm loving to see it right now.
They definitely are, and I mean, even then, we just see JSU also kind of respecting that as well. Not really stepping up to the plate, not saying, look, we need to come up with an answer. They wait for the retakes on so many different occasions. And that was definitely the answer on that last map. But here, it's not going to work as efficient as it would have earlier. If you don't have players on momentum. But even then, Panda Boat can go ahead and find some of his own. If he does find the first kill, can go ahead and pick off SPH. Now you've taken that double duelist comp down to a single duelist. You have to go ahead and back things up. You had to sit there and stay alive, though. And honestly, all the UNA players at least managed to stay alive besides the likes of SPH, because Cornflake playing towards the same main, trying to find more shots. You knew a TP went through earlier, but it was a fake because Dan Toaster read it like a book, found that kill to Squib, saying no more tricky TPs anymore. We're going to sit there and just close you out because every single play you make now has to be completely defensive.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Squib is playing right now with all these high-tech teleports and whatnot, I mean, they're going to have to just keep an eye on that, keep tabs on that the whole time. Otherwise, he's just going to take advantage of them not paying attention. And I mean,
that's a problem, Kill.
UNA, I mean, it's kind of just getting picked off here. I mean, a 5v2 situation, I mean, it's not a lot you can do, really. I mean, unless you get like 4 out of nowhere, you know, I mean, you're not really doing much. As they are using utility to just push the site right now.
Looking to play things slow, looking to work with that orbital strike to go ahead and slow up the game and at least force a player out, but instead you don't find any kills at all. Guppy stays alive and well, can manage to kill into Thraxamundar. Having to look for 4 more, manages 2 of them for a 3K, but Gambit's there for the exchange, and JSU now get themselves another answer onto the board. It took them a couple turns, a couple kills, and a couple rounds to really find themselves a stride, but nonetheless, they managed 1 more and make this game a 3-5 on their hands.
I mean, regardless, that 3K right there to make sure that those people did not have their guns, that was kind of huge from Guppy right there. Just to come through and just be like, yeah, I lose, but you're coming down with me, you know? I mean, I'm going to come through, just press W, hold M1, and get 3. Make sure that your economy is just a little worse than it would have been if I were just to like, just let you guys take over, you know? So, I mean, that was some good plays right there from Guppy. Just get an easy 3K and just slightly dent the economy of JSU. But, I mean, UNA now, I mean, they're in a good position, I think. If they just don't get picked off like they did last round, I mean, they'll be good.
I completely agree, especially when you see that Squib has this Torty Force in hand and Cornflake Killer all already gets to read and says, well, their tords be long. Last thing I need is you picking me for absolutely no reason. So I'm going to go ahead and get the intel to work with. Orbital Strike's going to come out for the side of UNA to create some space on the B, but instead it's not even going to be a force out.
Incendiary was down. Nobody wanted to push it. A complete TP comes through, and we see everybody from the side of UNA looking to push up into this A site, and it's free for the taking. But Guppy popping the showstopper. No players within the vicinity. Trying to push into heaven, but it just doesn't come out. Instead, no players damaged by that. JSU still have themselves somewhat of a lot of utility, a lot of weapons at their disposal, but one less as Dan Toaster get picked off. Squib finds a kill into Cornflake Killer. So it's now 3v5 for the retake on the side of JSU, trying to manage something out right now. Knowing that Spike is down towards the corner, Handaboat looking to play towards heaven, trying to find a kill with that headhunter, and can finesse one. Gibbon can finesse one, make that two as well. A 2v2 now in the hands of both squads. Spike gets down. Time is ticking for JSU. They got to make this answer fast.
They got to move quickly here, otherwise, I mean, there's just not a lot going to happen for JSU. I mean, if they just sit still like they did that one round. Oh, but Pandaboat does get no money here. But I mean, that's it. There's nothing they can do. They took too long to push point there. Now it's a 6-3 game in favor of UNA. Volcula being alive in the backline, just existing. Her presence alone is just making JSU wonder, just like, what are we doing here? We need to move quicker, but we can't, knowing that she's still on the field somewhere, you know?
I just noticed something about that skin that Vocula's using. I didn't buy that bundle because it was a whole $100 for it, so there's no way you're catching me dead with that. But like the fact that like when you shoot the barrel, how it like compresses, like it's like I can't compare anything without getting us banned, so I'm not gonna say what it like reminds me of. But it's like it's just gross. It's gross, dude. Like it is what it is. But even then, what it is is the it's the Cindy that scored that so far. We already see UNA up now 3 rounds, able to capitalize on the last one. Only Vocula standing at the rear end of it, but it doesn't even matter. You see the rest of the squad really going ahead, trying to step things up. JSU trying to create some relevancy here, and Cornflake Killer playing very aggressive towards Hookah right now, trying to find some free kills. But you've already got the intel. You know Guppy's playing around there, and Guppy finds that first kill of the round towards the outside of B. Squib finds a kill with the operator. Guppy playing right there towards that elbow. Can't manage the kill. Instead, Gambit finds the even trade there to go ahead and make the game look that much more plausible. But, I mean, as it looks so far, it's still a 3v4. You got to finesse yourself at least 2 more kills to get yourself the advantage. You got to make sure all your players stay alive in the meantime. And Gambit's going to be the huge initiator right here, looking to make some plays on the site. Gets to read off the turret, says that Vocula is still in the area, and that's going to be kind of an obvious. As Vocula finds 1 kill, no money here, finds another. It's now 1v4. Everything's down to Dan Toaster. Hasn't really been alive this round, but if any times to really clutch it up, it's not right here because he's going to die as well. Team Ace to the side of UNA making their lead go up to 7-3.
UNA's just got their foot on the pedal, and they're going crazy right now. Just like, yeah, you got ahead of us in the first map. We're not going to let that happen again. We're going to show y'all what we're about. And they're getting these easy picks off. They're just pushing bomb. They're getting that bomb down. They're forcing JSU to make a move here. And then they just can't make a move. I mean, they're down 2, and they've got to push bomb. And, I mean, you've got 30 seconds to make a move, and can't do nothing because their defense is just... Once they get on bomb, I mean, there's not a lot that they can do, really.
And right now, you just see exchanges coming through for the side of JSU. They're playing for even exchanges. They're not really finessing too much, and SPH is going to probably get a read on this player. Cornflake Killer finessing a huge first right there, looking to get the angle and trying to play around things. But with the exchange there, SPH does find that kill. Can't find the second over there towards the back because Gambit is still alive and well, and also has a free gun to pick up now if he opts to really push into that. But everybody else on the side of UNA looking to move on to this A site, trying to grab that plant, trying to get these smokes down as well, and Gambit trying to go ahead and pick up that gun. He does finesse it, saying, you know what? That's enough for me. Let's back up. Let's see if we can grab ourselves some kills because we still have ourselves a 3v3 on our hands and we can clutch things up. But speaking of clutching, there's nobody here. Now with 2, making sure the round is that much more difficult, but Dan Toes with an exchange on the operator.
I mean, we were told by production that Dan is not like that operator, but I mean, he's kind of going crazy right now.
Pandaboat, also with 1 in hand. You know, it's a free one with the Torty Force, but you find the exchange, you find the necessary kills, and Dan Toaster finally lining up with the op, making sure to equal out his kills because he was a little bit lackluster before then, but now, once again, finding his respective spot at the top of the leaderboard for his squad, stepping up, finding the 4th, and we now go into the last round of the half with UNA. No matter what, will find themselves a lead, but how much of a lead is what it comes down to. Will it be 2 rounds or 4? Well, it all gets decided right here, right now, whether or not they can really sit there and finish strong.
I mean, Dan Toaster, you got this op, and we were told that he doesn't like the op. I think that's just cap. After what I just saw right there, I think it's cap. There's no way you just get 2 easy picks off like that just to win the round to go 4-7. But, I mean, if he's able to get a pick off right here or more, that would be insane. Because they have absolutely no... Oh! No money here does get Dan Toaster, but Squib is taken out by Cornflake Killer as they push to this B bomb site. That's a lot of intel right there. Oh, no money here does go down.
And even then, this Cornflake Killer now with 2 on a budget buy, only using nothing but a judge, still playing very close and aggressively towards the side. Also possibly able to go ahead and take off this KJ shutdown, but just can't manage the shots, can't manage the kills. But in the meantime, Cornflake's still staying alive and well. I mean, nobody's pushing this player. Nobody's really capitalizing or punishing that. But Pandaboat's definitely punishing in the back. Guppy finds the kill with that operator, knowing that Dan Toaster has already fallen for the side of old JSU. Cornflake Killer trying to come around for the flank. Can find the killer onto Guppy. Now making a 3K. An orbital strike at the disposal of the players. But the last one saying is SPH towards A-Main. Can't find the kills, and that's JSU now making it a 2-round game as they go into the second half on the attacking side.
What a crazy round. That's exactly what JSU needed right there. I mean, that's exactly what they needed. I mean, to make it a 5-7 game instead of a 4-8 game makes it huge right there, because now they've got the attacking side, which they were very strong on last map, and they might be able to just start taking these round wins and potentially just end up winning the game altogether, depending on the momentum they got.
Am I the one who's tripped up about scores? Like, whenever you're playing the game back and forth, like it's a 1-1 kind of scenario that we always perceive it as, but whenever you go into a halftime, like every single round, like that one round counts as 2. It's super odd. Like, I'm not a math major, but it's like, how does a 7-5? And you're like, oh, I'm not worried about that. It's a still, you know, 3. What it is, but this JSU going ahead and making themselves a lot more relevant in this fight thus far. Now making it, as we said earlier, a 2-round game, and that could all be evened up just by the pistol round alone, whether they can really find the correct picks. But I mean, JSU has no idea where these players are set up towards. You see a lot of players pushing up towards the B side, trying to find the aggression. They got to get the round SPH here and around the corner, and they do get the lead. They don't get the kill though, because the guy makes it out alive and well. Cornflake Killer managed that kill, but Vakula's there for the backup, managing 2, making it a massive lead here for UNA.
Guppy does go down, but no money here, ready to just clean up here. 2v1. Squib is alive, but I mean, it doesn't matter. No money here has that pinpoint accuracy ready for him at every angle. And I think UNA is just really good on these pistol rounds. UNA is very good on these pistol rounds. I feel like they get another one here. You go up 9-5, and then that gives you a little more wiggle room once you get into the start rifle rounds. So you can lose a few, but if you're just winning more than you're losing, you're winning, you know?
Yeah, I agree. They definitely be winning.
They do be winning.
First map, they do be winning though.
They do be winning though.
They be doing that winning stuff. But I mean, looking at the setup thus far, obviously we're gonna notice a retaliation round here for the side of all JSU. That would be the case if they weren't still opting to save, because obviously this is gonna be a forced round for the side of old UNA. They know they won that last one. They have a force to be working with. So, I mean, we can't really freak out about any strands of kills being put together, because, I mean, it's to be expected. Already in exchange, though, here. So, JSU finagling a little bit of presence here, able to find themselves at least 1 kill thus far. And it's going to be on to Squib, who had that Bucky in hand, but not able to finesse anymore. Nobody here. On site, able to find himself 3K, 4. As we see UNA going ahead and grab themselves the second round as we expected. So now going into the retaliation round, as I like to label it. This is where we're going to see JSU have those rifles in hand once again, going for a full buy. Knowing they had nothing but the classic in the last round, they still finessed 2 kills on their hands. But as an answer, Squib is still opting to buy here, having an Ares to work with nonetheless. So a little bit of a weird predicament to be put into, and kind of an odd answer, I'd say. Knowing he's going to be choking a lot of resources out of himself, because at this stage in the game, last half, I want to say 6 out of 7 ticks of progress towards that 24. So he had a really good chance to really kind of have some relevancy in the fight and have a free op. But this time around, that's not going to be the case. This seems to be playing very, very sneakily inside this TP, waiting for the players to push up, but can't finesse the shots and can't find a kill. Instead, now he is trapped in there with that rendezvous, looking to go ahead and really use it when things get hectic.
Oh, but it works out. Squib was able to get that first pick off right there, especially on the Cornflake Killer. That'll be very huge, especially the way that Cornflake Killer kind of just likes going in the back and getting that easy pick off in an easy corner, you know? Something that you just would not expect. But Dan Toaster does get Guppy, so now it's a 4v4 situation. But Pandaboat is on the flank. Or no. The money here was on the flank. But Panda Boat was just rotating all the way back around.
Well, regardless of where Panda Boat was, Panda Boat is still going to be, you know, here in the game, alive and well thus far. So that's kind of a good standing here for the side of old JSU, but not as equally as good considering they've already lost themselves 2 players on a bye round. And nobody on the side of UNA has picked up these guns, and I don't think they're really feeling forced to. None, they still have themselves in a good standing and had the advantage overall. It all comes down to Gambit, Panda, and Thraxon, who are all still looking to push up towards site, looking to play off this B and looking to get a little bit aggressive. And they definitely managed to get themselves that much closer to site as they do push themselves into hookah, but they haven't found themselves presence on the site yet. Not really too much to work with. They get the smokes out. They see the old nano swarm grenades, but they're going to push up. They're going to find these kills, and honestly, SPH is going to be the one to grab the kills anyways. Gambit having to clutch things up to some extent with also Panda Boat in the back. It's all down to that one man, and with 0 seconds left on the clock, that is a finesse round here for UNA.
Oh, the fact that they got that pick off too.
No money here on Vocula. No money here, not able to pick up a gun, but Vocula will at least. That's a lot of money saved for them, and that's another round in their hands. They hit that 10 threshold.
That is huge for the side of UNA. I mean, being able to get that last pick off as well after the time ran out, they spent a lot of money last round, and now they're not gonna have a lot to work with here. I mean, I see sheriffs and I see a marshal with half shield. I mean, JSU is not looking good for them right now, and I mean, Dan Toaster currently going negative right now. His mental has just not been there this second map, especially after that loss of map 1. I mean, it seems like he just kind of lost all confidence after losing that. But I mean, Cornflake Killer going 13-13. But I mean, Vocula and No Money Here, I mean, they're just kind of going crazy. And Squib's getting those picks. But Cornflake Killer does get that first pick on the SPH.
Very clean first there. So that's going to be a gun to pick up for the side of old JSU if they do get that close enough to side to really pick things up. But they also got a couple more players there towards the back. They have everybody on UNA looking to rotate. Old Squib trying to play towards that TP, making sure to anchor things out because he can go ahead and just hop right through there if things do get rough. But in the meantime, what's getting rough is the control for the site. No Money Here able to step up, grab another double here with the Spectre, completely turning his brain out, but still finessing the kills nonetheless. Seeing the little bit of an angle is going to be Gambit, trying to find the shots, can't find the kill there, and the orbital strike is coming down as somewhat of a panic here for UNA. But already, the backup, JSU popping theirs. Also, I see Gambit with that KO, trying to get aggressive on the side, trying to find the necessary kills. You know where the guy's at, you know where he's standing because of just that shutdown alone, but still, you can't find the kills because the exchanges come out. Cornflake Killer gets picked off as well, and that's an 11th here for UNA as they get that much closer to a dub.
Yo, my boy Matt. My boy Squib getting that 3K. Yes, sir. UNA's going crazy right now. That's all I got to say. UNA's just going crazy. They're getting their picks. They're getting those dubs. I mean, hey, they're two rounds away from taking away this whole match.
Considering where they were in that first half of the first map, knowing that, I mean, that wasn't their map pick, you can't really freak out about it. But, I mean, you can tell that they've definitely sat there and looked a lot more comfortable on bind. I feel like instead of more of a comfortability factor of the side of UNA, it's been more discomfort for the side of JSU because we're not seeing them frag out in the same respect. Cornflake Killer, the first time I saw that player on this map, an absolute nuisance, an absolute menace, getting so many kills, being that top frag, playing towards shower every single round on the defense. But now, just no control there here for JSU. Dan Toaster not feeling himself, and everybody else just going ahead, getting picked off on that first frag. Panda Boat that time being the big kind of differential to be set here. And everybody on UNA still being alive and well, looking to play back, working towards site, looking to play passive right now. And even then, JSU coming on the roundabout, trying to play towards this B long section. They can still play for the TP, and they're going to run right back into No Money Here. But in the meantime, they're just going to try and play for possibly a plant. But when they see all the players that are still on site, it's going to make the job that much harder.
I mean, Vocula, I'm impressed with Vocula and how patient. I don't know why that word did not come out of me right. Anyways, she's so patient and methodical in how she plays. I mean, she can just sit there all day, and she'll be ready for anything. Like, there's
She's a KJ player for darn sure.
Hey, she can just chill and be good. You know, I mean,
30 seconds left.
if they don't come her way, whatever. She can get that rotate easy. But I mean, she's just ready for anything that aims. Beautiful to say the least. Beautiful aim, beautiful patience. Just everything's great with her gameplay. Ooh,
what's gonna be beautiful right now is Squib shots, man.
Squib,
gorgeous 3K there in the back. I'm gonna go ahead and close things out. Vocula going ahead, getting the read on a Gambit, finding that last kill as well as UNA now goes into match point. With 4 players still standing. They are having a map and a half right now. Is what we saw a much closer game in that last map. of Ascent. UNA really pulling things out, clutching things up in that overtime with 2 back-to-back. Now, they don't have to worry about that here. They just have to prevent 7 in a row here for the side of JSU, and I don't think that's going to be very hard looking at their flawless record on this half thus far.
They're going crazy. That's the only thing I got to say. They have been going crazy.
Well, we talked about it.
Oh.
They better go crazy one more time to really close things out. And quite honestly, Squib with 2 missed shots, hitting the third finally, and no money here, able to go ahead and make an exchange and get another kill as well. That already makes the game to 3v5. Make it 1v5. This Cornflake Killer is the last player standing. Has to clutch things up, even to give a chance for his team, but it's just not going to come through. That is going to be the end of the series, and that is UNA winning things out.
UNA, flawless second half. Absolutely great gameplay. UNA was just like, yeah, we know exactly what you're going to do. Are you going to stop us? We'll see. And they just could not stop UNA right there with Squib going 20 and 10 at the top of the leaderboard. Nobody here right behind him with 21 and 10. And I mean, Dan Toaster and Gambit, they just could not get anything going on the second half right here, or the second map right here. And it was just kind of almost disappointing, especially after the performance that they both had on that first map.
No, I completely agree. I mean, they were definitely asleep at the wheel. And I mean, I don't think it was too much of a mental reset that we talked about earlier where they have to find it. It almost just felt like a comfort pack. Like, I mean, for the side of UNA, obviously it was their map choice. It wasn't the side of JSU's here, but for them not to ban it, they obviously had to feel comfortable enough to leave it still on the board because they have higher priorities that they just really don't feel comfortable playing at. So obviously by maybe on that selection out, maybe on that list of maps they don't want to be working with anymore because this, I'm not going to say it was just a terrible performance out of them, but we didn't see the same JSU I saw last time when they played on this map. We saw Cornflake Killer on Showers every single round, being an absolute nuisance. Even on this map alone, we still saw Cornflake Killer playing towards Showers a couple rounds here and there, making that impact, really showing up, just playing the game and being pretty impressive in that regard. Even then with just nothing but a shorty, still at least finesse one, able to get that trade. Say, I got mine at the end of the day, but the rest of the team really wasn't there for the follow-up. I mean, it always had to come down to clutches, 2 players in a 2v4 or a 2v3, whatever it may be, playing the outnumber game and then just winning it out by the luck of the draw. They can't rely on that. They can't do that every single round to really find themselves a win. It's going to find you rounds. It's going to find you relevance in a half. But I mean, for the entirety of the game, you have to figure out in the meantime, the people that aren't staying alive during those rounds have to figure out, okay, what's going on? Where are their setups? Why am I dying? Why are we all dying? And what can we do to adjust around that?
I mean, JSU, I think you're going to have to go back and watch that last map because, I mean, you thought you guys were confident, but, I mean, UNA just kind of just dismantled the whole thing that JSU had going on, especially after that performance that they had that first map. I mean, they were just like, yeah, this is our map pick. What are you going to do on our map? Because they were very comfortable on that map. They were a lot more confident. And, I mean, JSU just didn't have an answer almost. Like yep. They just kind of they just got steamrolled that first half after such a devastating loss of that first map, and it feels like they just never recovered. So if I was JSU, I would just go back and just review the VOD, learn what to do better, and just move on to next week. I mean, there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, but I mean, everything being said and done, at least for this series, we're not going to go ahead and throw it over to next week just yet. We got one more series coming up here soon. We got the likes of I think it's going to be Alabama versus someone else, if I'm going to be correct. It's going to be, University of South Alabama versus University of Alabama. That's going to be coming up here soon. That's going to be another matchup to look forward to. Maybe it could be as close as this one in regards to the second map. I don't know if you can get much closer than that first one, though, with it being in overtime. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get that lobby set up, get everything said and done, and we'll throw it to a short little break to go ahead and tide things over in the meantime. So we'll catch you here in a bit. talked about it.
Oh.
They better go crazy one more time to really close things out. And quite honestly, Squib with 2 missed shots. Hit.
Dan Toaster's in there right now. Ooh. 1v2 situation. Volcula's got to go crazy here.
Welcome back, everybody, here to the main stage. Once again on a Wednesday night, we are now moving ready to go here for the second series. We get the likes of USA versus UA, Alabama versus South Alabama. Alabama looking to come in with a statement. They have what? I think it's an undefeated record here so far in the season thus far, and they're looking to continue that streak as they are moving on to the first map of Split, as they already have most of their competition locked in. We have Gavin on the Omen, Zen on the Rays. We got Sai on the Sky. Great content on the stage, and Toasty on the Chamber. So very even dispersed kind of composition we got going across the board, and we may see an exact mirror matchup here as USA is looking the same exact things.
Oh yeah, that's a straight mirror right there. But I was looking at UA and just some of their accounts. I'm scared. I'm scared.
We're not playing, buddy. We're not playing.
I'm not even playing.
We're here to sit there and hype them up if things really do go in their way. And even then, this side of the coin. Think of USA. If they really turn things up, they find themselves some great picks and really just go ahead and start to run away with this game by some chance, they can go ahead. We could do the same exact thing for them. That's what we're here to. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to see. And even then, it all comes down to the pistol round, the setups, and really how these teams can adjust each other accordingly over the course of this game. So, as we do have a little bit of a load in coming in, and to sit there and wait on the lobby to load up, we're waiting on whether or not we could see either one of these squads. And I mean, just going ahead talking about the compositions, I like the Omen pick for both sides. Even then, with Omen's recent buffs. Even then with Brim, his nerfs weren't really all that big a deal to really warrant the likes of, Omen being that much more present. But overall, nonetheless, we sit there and see that these teams, I like the Sage picks for both sides as well.
Seems like there's been a slight party chat issue between both the teams. Oh. So, anyways,
I think teams are there's a little bit of a predicament going on right now. Teams are hearing each other apparently.
They might need to take a quick pause here.
Hey yo. Should we just reset lobby, quite honestly?
We could. Is that allowed?
I think it should be fine.
Yeah, just do a quick reset. Quick reset. Yeah, just do it.
It looks.
Can we do? Go ahead and.
We need to make an executive call for this, big dog.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and probably just go ahead and
we need to go ahead and type it in chat because I think they're still trying to play this out.
I don't know what they're trying to do. Oh, we're good to go. Okay, we're good to go. Cool.
All right.
Anyways,
we're going to go. We're pushing on to the B side, and that's going to be the side of USA already find themselves a respective trade. Everybody going ahead, looking to go now, not only 2 for 1, but go 4 for 2, as we already see Alabama cleaning things up, getting themselves on the B side and winning out this first round. A massive start, a very dominant start for themselves to go ahead and get this thing going. So now as we go into the second, it seems like nobody's really talking to each other on each side anymore, so that's going to be figured out. And in the meantime, we're going to be going ahead and standing out and going ahead and moving on to the second as Alabama get themselves a force.
Oh. Technical difficulties. Whatever, just I don't know. Well, I'm streaming my screen right now. I don't really know what's going on here. This is so scuffed. As Toasty and Sai get 2 picks right off the get-go. Toasty with another one. And yeah, that's just a quick. This is so scuffed. Okay, well, if the screen's black right now, it's 2-0 favoring Alabama's favor. Yeah, they're going crazy right now. They're going crazy.
Good God.
Oh, we love the second match of the day.
Most definitely do. So strong start here already for Alabama, looking to go ahead and continue their streak a little bit more. So we have them also pushing up towards the middle of the map, trying to get some presence there, trying to make a play, trying to get some aggression up, and try and get some kills as well, because obviously knowing that's going to be the retaliation around for the side of USA, they have to get themselves the guns. They have to make the most of these rifles, and quite honestly, there's just not enough player presence in the middle to really go ahead and warrant what they got going on thus far. So a little bit of presence, a little bit more plays, and a little bit more pressure towards maybe what could be the middle of the map. USA trying to just go ahead and get a fueler, because they know, obviously, Alabama's looking pretty intimidating right now for them not to really make too much of a move just yet. They're trying to go ahead and get a little bit of a peekaroo, trying to get there and get an idea of where these players may be sitting. And honestly, a lot of the player presence playing very aggressive towards this early B side, trying to play towards main, trying to get the kills on their side with 2. When the exchange comes out, we see, Gavin able to go ahead and find a double there to go ahead and give himself a lot to work with the rest of his team. But already when you know that the players are sitting towards B, you grab yourself a respective trade and make it now a 1-for-2. That's a great setting for them, knowing they only had these Spectres to be playing off of.
Yeah, I mean, USA looks kind of just... They're playing really close together. They don't really know where they want to go here. I mean, they sat in mid for about 45 seconds, not really having a direction of where to go. And, Biscuit with a huge 2 with 3 on the round right now. Toasty's rotating over from the other bomb site right now. And Zen's just chilling top right now. Bomb is about to go down. 2v2 situation, but Omen's one shot here. So, I mean, it's up to Biscuit pretty much to just come in clutch here.
Most definitely is, but it all comes down to Biscuit and Mando. And Mando's still having that smoke regen up, so I mean, still having a little bit of cover to work with the rest of the team. It all comes down to whether or not Biscuit can play off that, because she's been playing fairly passively so far, but she went ahead and finessed a great little 3K in this round. So that's going to be a great little start, a little bit of a slowdown as well, as you can already see. Zen looking to swing out. Biscuit to find the respective trade. Grab the second as well. That's going to be an ace for Biscuit. That's going to be a round for USA.
Hey, that's how you make a statement right there. That's how you make a statement right there. I mean... UA probably was not expecting this type of retaliation from USA right there, especially on a round like that, and how scuffed the beginning of this match was. But hey, USA, they said we're not going out without a fight right here. It might be early on. The game ain't over till it says 0. The clock says 0. So I mean, USA, they just want to do the best they can right here, and they probably believe that they can win this. I'm all for them. It's just gonna be very hard considering the matchup that UA has, and Toasty getting that first pick up on the Lord.
Looking to double down as well, knowing the rest of the team is right there behind Lord, looking to go ahead and get some pressure on the side. They have no guns really at their disposal, because things are looking really sticky, knowing that they got ahead. And even though we sat there and saw Biscuit win things out and really clutch things up, still with the econ switching up, the round momentum switching up as well, you have no money to back things up. So there it is, UA looking to clean up, having these rifles in hand. Toasty going for a 3K there, making sure to bring a little bit of a swift end to the likes of USA for this one, as they go up now 3-1 on the board, looking to go ahead and carry away this game a little bit more so. But this is what we see in exchange once again. The round bye coming out of South Alabama again. So now this is where the game starts to even up a little bit, where you say, okay, everybody has guns, everybody has armor, everybody has utility. What's going to be the game plan here? And it looks like they're going to be roving right back onto that B side to play for a little bit more mid control and towards B, but it's going to be a very, very difficult hurdle to overtake when you sit there and see that Lord Rand is going to be playing from the opposite side, playing a little bit more isolated. You have to make the most of this one individual player really going for something crazy.
Play, let's play.
So Chamber does come out. As Lord just kind of shoots, and Toasty knows that he's there. Or at least knows somebody is there, you know. And I mean, Toasty's just gonna wait. No reason to push. Make sure that they make the first move first. Calling out that there's someone over there. Why was a...
Even then, Lord ran over towards that A side. No, Set Toasty is sitting right on the opposite side and can already find that kill. And great content in the middle, also finds one as well. So that's a massive choke up to the side of South Alabama, trying to get themselves on the site, and things just really don't go their way. You see the resurrection come through as well, but making things that much more difficult, knowing there's that much more many members to be worrying about, and knowing that you just sat there and invested a huge piece of utility for that round, that you're trying to make the plays wherever you can.
but with the rest of the players of South Alabama pushing on the side, IMSB grabbing that kill right there, making the job that much easier for the rest of the squad. You're looking to capitalize on this. You're looking to make the most of this Ultority 4 so you can grab yourself a second, maybe a third, but it's not going to come out. It all comes down once again to Biscuit, who has the spike down, so you have the plays there, but Zen has a showstopper, making things that much more difficult. Trying to go ahead and stay alive, trying to go ahead and really work things out, but with the Sharks surrounding the water, coming in and closing the distance and finding the kill, it goes ahead and makes sure that a 4th round now comes out for Alabama to give themselves that much more of a lead.
Yeah, I mean, IMSB went huge with those first 2 picks right there, but I mean, other than that, just after that, after he died, I mean, there was nothing that could be done there really just to defend that bomb site. 1v3 situation, not a lot you can do in that situation, especially as a Sage.
Yeah, and even then we saw Biscuit close things up earlier, but I mean, on B earlier, you sat there and knew that you had Mando to be working off of. You had some extra players there to kind of be playing with you, and you're not really too concerned about what's going on, but I mean, all things said and done, you need to have a little bit more. You have to have these players there to back you up. Even if it just comes down to popping one piece of utility, that's going to go ahead and at least throw out the opposition a little bit. So we can already see a re-engage coming through towards this B site. All of Alabama trying to push up and get themselves that presence, get that pressure on site, because Alabama has to retaliate this. They have to sit there and find the control, and quite honestly, even then, Gavin already being on site, having these smokes, and not even being blinded long enough to sit there and even go ahead and die.
Oh.
You do find 2 deaths on the side of Alabama as they go ahead. Quanta finding 1 kill, and then going ahead and following up with the rest of the team. That's going to be 2 rifles for old Alabama to play with. But Zen, having an answer of his own, able to find now 2 as an answer, and 3 players now standing as now a 2v3 with the spike down and ticking away.
Yeah, I mean, IMSB is kind of going crazy here, but that's a good pick right there. 1v1 situation. Doesn't really know where the person is. You have to check that corner, and then bam, down. Good job, Toasty.
Good job.
I mean, good job, Toasty. Going crazy. Okay. No, you're.
Anyway. Oh, we're running off NATO's feet. Okay, interesting.
Oh, that's baller.
I hope you're an outstanding observer, my guy. And caster at the same time.
Oh. Someone with such little experience.
Well, here's an experiment for you right now. Let's think if you can do both.
Well, we'll have to see. Probably not, but I'll try my best. I mean,
honestly, you just want to focus on observing. I can cast the entirety of this.
Yeah, you got that. I'll do that.
We already see Alabama to go ahead and have a very strong hold towards the middle of the map. You can already see great content side just doubling up, finding the entirety of this 7th round now here for them to go ahead and get themselves a guaranteed half with USA with their backs up against the wall. Things are looking very, very interesting for them thus far. They're having to do a little bit more work now. They're having to compensate for a lot, knowing they sit there and don't really have the best standing when it comes down to rifle rounds, and knowing that they have to invest that much money at the same time makes it a very, very difficult hill to really cross over. So as the game does elongate a little bit more, so we see that Alabama, obviously they're standing, their setups, they're not really feeling too much pressure to really sit there and say that we have to invest these ultimates. I mean, the Seekers, sure, it's a little bit of intel, but you only grab 3, so you can't really play too much off of that. You can't get all the intel that's necessary, but the Sage Resurrection probably will be popped on one of these influential players if we do see that case coming through. So it may be Toasty playing around that rendezvous, trying to play towards the A side, but it could also come down to like Zen, who didn't really grab the necessary kills there, and is playing right there towards the middle of the map, getting very overzealous, trying to get a lot of intimidation, trying to really just close out the round right as soon as it starts, and that's just not too much of the case. So as the rest of the players are now answering towards the middle of the map, you know that Sage Wall is up there to really choke things up. You have to sit there and get the frags, and there it is. Great content with 2. Make sure this round looks that much more doable for them. So the rest of the squad, Toasty now backing up towards ropes. Great content with the 3rd. Looking to grab a 4th, but doesn't check the right angle. That's Biscuit now in the back, able to grab one of her own, but has to go ahead and snatch 2 more in her hands. Can go ahead and finesse the 3rd. All it is just now a 1v1. You have a resurrection. You can make this now a 2v1. You can make this round that much more doable. You get the eyes on Gavin. You can't find the shots. And what you do find is the 7th round here for Alabama as they go ahead and end up closing this out.
UA go crazy.
I do indeed go crazy, but as the game does elongate a little bit more so, this is still only the first half, and I mean, the game isn't going to be one side of the entirety of this game. We see that South Alabama have a round to be working with, so obviously it came down to a clutch on Biscuit, and
she's really been stepping up this far. What these gamer girls, man, I tell you, we got to give them more representation. Vocula, when it came around to University of old North Alabama, now when it comes around to Biscuit and South Alabama, these Cardinal Direction Alabama schools are just going crazy with their girl players. But Gavin's going a little bit crazy right now. But I'll go ahead and finesse the first pick of this round, get a little bit more influence, and say that's your raise down. That's your one duelist. How are you going to have some kind of pressure on the site? How are you going to push this out? What are you going to manage them with a great one-way that I've never really seen before? It's going to be a interesting play nonetheless to see whether or not we can see Alabama capitalize on this, because South Alabama is not really opting to push this out just yet. They don't want to get the pressure. They're a little bit intimidated now, knowing that the smoke is now going to be pushing up even closer to spawn. So that gives you a lot of control towards B main if you're Alabama to sit there and say, we're going to make the plays off of this. So Gavin making the move, setting up an outstanding little angle to be working off of, but the Seekers sniff them out. You get the triple swing, and you find yourself the kill. So the Seekers are now pushing onto site over towards A. Alabama is going ahead and having their positions revealed, but thing is, can you make the answers? Because Zen is towards the back up to grab one, make that three, excuse me. I'm a two players still alive for Alabama. You got great content on the flank. Go to Minich, one more kill there. So the league getting even that much bigger. 8-1 now. Players going ahead, being alive and well for the side of Alabama. A lot of them staying alive, saving a lot of that money. Not really too stressed out for econ, and not too stressed out for rounds either, because worst case scenario, they found themselves on an 8-4, but this momentum is definitely swinging in their direction. So what South Alabama has to do, it's a very conflicting question nonetheless to figure out what they can play here. I wouldn't really blame them if they went for a timeout, but they only have 3 rounds remaining in this half, so they're in the third quarter of this first half, and honestly, it may be too little too late to make these adjustments at this stage. As you can already see, Toasty looking to go ahead, push up a little bit towards the A side, trying to get a little bit overzealous, because, I mean, he's been holding the entirety of the game thus far. Bias Lunt's been doing a pretty darn good job. Even if it doesn't come down to kills, it still equivalates for some intel to be working off of. But what you need intel for is anywhere on the map if you're South Alabama. You've been stuck in spawn. Your old Trailblazer didn't really get too much influence on the map. It didn't get too much intel to be working off of. But we're talking about intel. You have B wide open. That's going to be your best angle. You know players going to push up on that smoke. You know they're going to make moves. And Toasty, surprisingly enough, pushing all the way into spawn, saying, things are getting a little bit sticky, to say the least, for the guy. But he can go ahead and make it out scot-free a little bit. Knowing players going to be going right there on rope. Manages at least one kill, breaks into Headhunters looking for another, but Biscuit finds that trade. So a 3v1, or 3v4, excuse me, in favor of South Alabama's are still trying to push up. Still have the 24s, but it doesn't even matter when Biscuit manages now the second for the round. So a 2v4 scenario, trying to push up into sight, trying to get onto the A area, trying to make due diligence of what's given to them. And Zen is definitely doing that now with a double kill. Right off the get-go, with Gavin answer up as well, with a showstopper being broken out from Zen, trying to go ahead and know that player's on site. No Biscuit's going to be somewhere around elbow. You got to blind fired it eventually, Chief, and there it is. Finding the kill, finding the round, and Alabama bounced back for a 9-1 lead.
Woo! UA go crazy.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to get water every now and then. But if you will speak in between rounds, feel free to do that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been hoping a lot from Toasty, but I mean, the whole squad at UA is kind of just pushing through and holding USA in spawn. I mean, they're not gonna be able to do nothing. They're just holding them back, and there's nothing that USA can really do. I mean, they're legit sitting in spawn right now. As Toasty gets the first pick again.
Looks to push into sight some for the side of South Alabama, now only being at 4 players. They have to really go ahead and clutch things up. You can see the smoke being placed up there towards heaven, so a little bit of coverage, making sure that players don't swing it unnecessarily. You have the one-sword screen too, but the thing is, the smoke now falls. Makes the job that much harder. Sai finds an operator kill. Still holding a lot of influence up there towards heaven. So if you're in these South Alabama players, you can't swing, you can't move anywhere. It all comes down to Biscuit, who's over there on the flank, not even near the spike. He can manage 2 for the round already, but you've got to speed things up. Toasty is hogging that defuse, and great content hogs that kill, as we can already see. Another cleanup for the side of Alabama as they now elongate this game to a 10-1 lead with 2 still standing, and 2 ultimates, very influential ones at their disposal to work with.
Hey, I mean,
you ain't go crazy. Yeah,
nah. Pros don't fake the plant or the defuse. Pros don't fake the defuse. He just stuck it. He was killed. That's Toasty for you. Toasty's gonna have that ultimate operator or whatever, and he's gonna go crazy with it.
Well, a little bit better than an operator would be a Torty Force, and that's exactly what we see Toasty playing with thus far. And even then, Sai's looking to play with 2 weapons at the same time, juggle them up. You got the econ, why not go ahead and invest in that extra gun to make sure that you can excel in long range? And if the pressure really comes on, you can go ahead and equip yourself for short range as well. But still, playing a little bit slow, playing towards the back, knowing that Vandals are right around the corner, you got to go ahead and pick that Joker up, and there it is. Go ahead and pick it up. Toasty in the back towards heaven, able to find the necessary kills. Find it now 2 for 2 on each side, but speed, making sure to go ahead and get the lead for his squad. Finding that 1 kill, Biscuit with the res is now a 2v4 scenario for Alabama. Their backs are up against the wall in a hard place, and they really got to make sure to go ahead and make the clutch to really make sure they can get themselves a huge lead. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's already massive, but they want to go ahead and put a little bit more salt in the wound. Content does have a resurrection and is disposable, but can't really make too much work out of it, as Gavin can make some work with that operator, find a kill, goes ahead, backs out, wants to find at least 1 more, but you guys sit there and consider it. This guy's got nothing but an operator and a classic. It's going to be a very, very difficult situation to really clutch yourself out of it. He's not really going to find all the necessary kills, but if you find at least 1, make that 2, and call comes down to the 1v1, and Biscuit ends up winning it out with a 3K. That is the first half done and dusted, and Alabama coming out on top with 10-2.
Switching sides.
Quick, very quick round. And I mean, USA, it's looking very grim for them right now. Very, very grim. I mean, Biscuit's kind of just trying to keep the team together, but I mean, there is 6 kills between 3 players at the bottom of the USA's leaderboard right now. And I mean, that's just tough. That's just tough, especially when UA's bottom player has 9 alone. I mean, it's almost like USA's just getting outclassed right now. And I mean, USA's just got to figure out how to defend here. Otherwise, it's just going to be a sweep.
Here.
And that's my biggest problem. I mean, looking at UA, we see a mirror matchup. We didn't really get all the, I'd say, aggression out of the likes of Lord Rand that we really needed. I mean, your duelist, your introducer, I mean, your grand scheme, your host on the site. I mean, your tour guide is going to be your bottom frag right now. That makes things really, really difficult. But what also makes it difficult is to go ahead and rotate. When you already see that wall coming up from great content saying, we know your ropes. Have fun trying to get through that. As Zen finds the kill up there towards B Heaven, is looking to push on side. Alabama has had a very, very swift introduction onto this B site thus far. Quancha does get a kill to answer things out, making sure that the game becomes that much more kind of, I'd say, doable for their side, as Lord Rand also grabs 1 as well. But Sai looking to be in a little of a predicament, I'd say. UFC, everybody towards the back of site, Speed making an answer for himself, and everybody else on the side of B is going to be go ahead and dead. As Alabama not only fall for this round, but make, I wouldn't say a comeback doable just yet, but bring at least some light for the side of South Alabama. As they won the last round in that first half, they won the first round here in the second half, and they have a force to be working with this time. But even then, Alabama don't seem to be too scratched up about it, because they still want to go ahead and buy a Spectre and a couple Singers maybe they're opting for. It's a little bit of a weird predicament to say the least, but honestly, if anybody's going to pull them out, I think definitely they could be the ones to clutch things up like this.
I mean, yeah, UA, I mean, they don't really have to do a lot here. They've got a 10-3 lead. They can just do whatever they really want for the next few rounds if they wanted to. If they just wanted a full save and just pull nothing but classies out for the next 3 rounds, they could. And then just go full out for the next 2. Because, I mean, they've shown that they're better in those rifle fights, generally. Just from leaderboard stats alone. But, I mean, like, the round count, everything like that. I mean, UA's taking over this A spot, A plant already. And I don't think this Bucky's going to be good at that range right there. Great content.
It most definitely won't, but even then, not really getting tagged up too much. Can find at least a shot onto a player, but the heals are still there to be working with on South Alabama side. Comes down now to a 5v4 where everybody's on site, and Gavin, Sai, and Zen all find a respective kill. Zen goes ahead, doubles down, finds now 2, and Toasty's coming around on the flank looking to close things out. Finds the collapse, finds the kills, and Alabama not making this 2-0 very possible for the side of South Alabama. Still finessing around there, making it somewhat thrifty, I'd say, in respect to what the buys were, because not everybody bought up, but you had enough players to make the impact really worth it as they go ahead, make sure to go ahead and get a little clean up there, make sure to almost like Mr. Clean, just going ahead, making some magic done on the field. But nonetheless, they still have 2 more rounds to close out before they find themselves winning out this map as quick as it's felt. It can also end just as equally swiftly. But problem is, you don't have enough players really out there with buys, because
I mean, South Alabama, they bought up in that last one. Alabama's opting to go ahead and grab themselves some weird options here, but they know they still have the advantage in terms of money because if you look at it right there, Zen, Toasty, and Sai all have Spectres. Great contents running a Judge, looking to play around those smokes and play around that wall. And Gavin is running a Guardian. The guy has the biggest probably firepower on the field right now because the Guardian's still a very solid option in terms of ecos. But we're talking about solid options. Mid is definitely going to be a pretty darn good one. The counter wall to come up, bring all the aggression towards heaven. Great content. Playing the duelist role right now. Finding a 3K. Saying, what's up, y'all? I'm on site. I'm finding the kills, and we're finding the round as well. That's now moving on to match point here for Alabama as they go ahead and make themselves a 12-3 lead.
That's a healer. That's a healer doing that. Did not care.
Two sides of the coin. You got to do damage to heal it up.
I guess. She is 16 and 10. That's crazy.
Even then, I mean, Zen's 23 and 9 right now. He's playing some intro. This guy's playing duelist. He's playing his role correctly. And even then, in that round, I think they just want to go ahead and pass off the spotlight for a little bit, saying, you know what, great content. You want to try being duelist for a round? Things are getting a little hectic. I'm getting a little exhausted of this, but can't blame them, quite honestly. When you sit there and see how much work has been done and seeing such a massive lead that you've really gone ahead and accumulated, great content. Just looking to double down, saying it doesn't even matter. I still have the Judge. Go ahead, close angles, do whatever you got to do. I'm still going to play around wall. I'm going to play around orbs. I'm going to go ahead and lock off whatever I can. And there you go. Already a lockdown and a little bit of a presence of the wall towards the back there. And the Trailblazer does not even sniff out great content. Doesn't even look in that direction towards screens. But Mando finds the kill, makes an even exchange, a 4v4, where South Alabama has to go ahead and find this retake. They have to get this defuse at the same time and kill so many players alongside with it. So an even exchange coming out for Sai. Going ahead, Quanta to back things up. But Biscuit and Speed are alive and well. Looking to unclutch things up, and there it is. It's not a wipe just yet because South Alabama found themselves a 4.
Hey, they're doing their thing. I mean, expecting that you think UA would just come in here and just 13-0 easy. The game would be done in 15 minutes. But I mean, USA's putting up a little bit of a fight right here. They putting up a fight.
They are definitely indeed, and honestly, that could really speak some volume for them as the series goes on. I mean, when you sit there and you get more of a case to sit there and realize what Alabama's doing, I don't think Alabama's really using too much of their brain right now. They just know that they're fragging out, so they're just making the most of that. And quite honestly, when you know you have an advantage like that, when you know you're an opponent's head and you're just absolutely winning in terms of gun skill, it makes it a very difficult situation. We have to see a little bit more utility coming out for South Alabama to really go ahead and counter that, to make their jobs that much harder. And even then, we saw in that last round, the swings, the flashes, just having all that kind of impact. If we're talking about flashes and utility coming through, we see lots of smokes coming out for these Omens as well. We see the old near sight coming through towards B Heaven and Toasty grabbing a kill on the ropes. That goes ahead and splits up the entirety of South Alabama to say where the actual living steward they going. You see Toasty pushing up, grabbing shots and really firing over towards the A side, but you still got to have an anchor towards B because that's where everybody else at Alabama is moving toward. And great content. Goes ahead, puts the wall up, says there is no rotation through mid. It comes down to pure skill, just pure rotation on to that spawn, and we just haven't seen that come out just yet because now Chamber moving around the edge, Speed trying to go ahead and get with the rest of his team as Toasty's also hogging these ropes. You got to think about what the approach is because you're in a 3v4. You have 2 players on site, 2 players pushing up towards spawn, whether it's ropes, whether it's CT, it doesn't matter. You still have the aggression coming up for Alabama. So the guiding light does come through. Doesn't really find too much of a read just yet, but when you go ahead and know that size around that left corner, you have to swing it out. You have to sit there and play with your squad. You have to get the exchange there, and there it is. Speed finding one, Zen finding one, Quanta going as well. 2v2. The spike is ticking down. You got to make a move immediately, and there's Toasty. Not going and clutching things out and make it now a 12-5. South Alabama grabbing one more to work with.
Hey, South Alabama kind of going crazy right now. Oh, wow. 1 second later. Hop on right there. They lose. That's crazy. I mean, UA's just kind of dominating, but I mean, USA's, they're putting up a good little fight right now. They're winning their gunfights. I mean, they're playing it pretty darn good right now. Playing this Valorant game very well right now.
And even then, you know, Alabama saying, well, we kind of forgot Spike in the spawn. And they're going to obviously run back for that, knowing that they obviously don't want to throw this game away because they've witnessed that the last 2 rounds have gone to the side of South Alabama. I'm sure a team that they were kind of asleep at the wheel at, saying, you know what, we don't have to be too stressed about them. This is an even rifle round across the board. Everybody except for Gavin really having everything to work with. And knowing that, I mean, UA is still forcing things up with all the money they have. they have a showstopper as well, and I'm sure they're going to try to make the most of that, push all the way into spawns. It's going to try and grab a kill, but maybe he goes away with 2. Nope, only gets 1. Quanta finds that exchange there, can't be healed up, but if your Sage gets close enough, you can make those plays. But Biscuit, sadly enough, is held hostage towards the middle of the map. Nose is playing right there by ropes. Knows a player is within the vicinity. Can't get the heals off. And Speed, finding a kill as well. But great content. Trades this thing out. Has a resurrection at his disposal as well. Looking to go ahead and find a player to pick up in the meantime. But it's only going to be Psy on his lonesome on the other side of that wall. Trying to go ahead and play with things. Biscuit finds the kill towards the middle. Knowing that player's up there. You have to find the collapse. And there it is. Toasty and great content working off each other, saying now we have the spike, we make a move to a site, we got to make a move somewhere, and we got to be ready for the players. And as the guiding light comes right in from spawn, you know exactly where they are. Great content, picking up Psy. Toasty there with the exchange, now making it a 2v1. A very interesting way, nonetheless, to sit there and grab that kill, but you grab it at the end of the day. It all comes down to now, Quanta, do you keep the dream alive? Do you keep the game going? Or will you go ahead and go on to map 2? Well, you sit there, you know you're towards heaven. You know a player's right there towards spawning. You know a player's on site. Well, at least we know that much with having the luxury of seeing these silhouettes to be playing with. If Valorant was only that easy, but you got every single angle because Alabama's been a little bit wild when it comes around to these setups, so you never really know what they're going to break out. So Psy playing for the post towards that spawn, looking to get a long angle onto screens, and Toasty playing on site. When you get that guiding light, you know not a single player is really swinging that hard on site, but Psy going ahead saying, all right, there's a player on spike. You didn't end up killing me. We're good to go. Play it slower. Check the spawn. And Toasty, go ahead, break out the knife. Find yourself a kill as we close out this map 1.
Wow. Almost a little too easy for Alabama right there. I mean, there's not a lot to say.
Man. I wouldn't say that.
I mean, that first half, USA really did not have an answer. They came back in that second half though, and they started putting up a better performance. But I mean, it just kind of fell short. Not trying to be harsh or nothing like that, but that just happens.
Yeah, I mean, it does. But, you know, what else happens is some breaks every here and there. Because I think that's what we're throwing it on to. Because after all that, obviously the game went very, very quickly by. So obviously we're going to make the break as equally as fast as we go ahead and get ourselves ready for the likes of Breeze. To where maybe we could see USA bounce themselves back. Because obviously they seemed a little bit asleep at the wheel in this regard. But maybe once we go ahead to a much more open environment where things feel a lot more comfortable, we can see them go ahead and flex things back. So we'll catch you in a little bit right after the short break as we get ready for the second map.
and welcome back to the main stage Valorant Week 4. If I'm correct, Dallas. Is it Week 4? Okay, it's Week 4. We got the University of Alabama versus the University of South Alabama. We're on the map 2, and that first map was kind of some domination from the side of Alabama. I mean, they just kind of just steamrolled. There wasn't a lot that USA could do in that situation. I mean, we're going to have Neon come out on the side of
We're having
UA.
a full duelist comp is what it is. Alabama is looking to go ahead and put a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they want to go ahead and get this over with, it seems like. They feel like they're better than South Alabama, and they just want to go ahead and wrap this thing up. And, I mean, after they played last map, I mean, they can do it. I mean, even if they were to just lose this map, they got a whole other map to reset and just move on to the next. But I mean, there's just no telling. And right before this map starts, I do want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors, y'all the homies, you already know. But yeah, we got Biscuit back on that stage. We got I Am Speed on that Jet. We got that Chamber. We got that Sova, and we got that Viper. We got Neon, Phoenix. I'm a Phoenix one trick, so I support that. Euro. Jet, I mean, and then whatever the bomb explosive lady name is, I don't know her name, but she's going.
That's Raze.
Raze?
Yes, like raise the roof, but it's R-A-Z-E.
Raze, all right. So Toasty's on that Raze.
You can see the agent names like on the card. If you look at the bottom right of it, it'll sit there and tell you your name. Crazy, right?
That's crazy. You think I have that much? Dude, I don't play this game like that. So I mean, you learn something new every day. You learn something new every day, and that's what I learned new today.
Well, what we're also about to learn is whether or not comp really does matter all that much when it comes around to gun skill, because obviously Alabama looking to go for a full force on the duelist composition. Meanwhile, we're going to see USA looking to actually go for more of a legitimate comp. So even then, I mean, we sat there and saw a couple rounds strung together for the side of South Alabama in that last matchup. So I mean, it's not going to be, by any means they're just perfect in any regard. But I mean, honestly, we're still seeing somewhat of a game set up for them. I mean, they're going ahead, playing the controller, the initiator, the duelist. I mean, everything's said and done. And even then, we're going to go ahead and Riot's been having a problem with voice connection issues here recently after this patch. So the players are trying to figure things out once again, saying that they can hear each other. But I'm sure this will be resolved a lot faster than what we typically saw in the last one, being they sat there and already done it once. So with everybody on the side of Alabama starting this attacking, they're looking to close things out very quickly and swiftly. Knowing they're on the attacking side, that's where duelists are supposed to excel. They're going to play very aggressive. They're going to work all together. They're going to push right at what it seems could be tube and play possibly towards the flank, either in spawn or really just go ahead and open up the door and flux out towards A.
I mean, they're just going to press W through all this, but USA does get 2 picks right there, which is actually huge. So maybe this 5 duelist set wasn't the greatest, but maybe it was a good choice. But hey, 3v3 situation, and UA is just ready to just push through and get those kills. Yep, 3 goes to Sai right there, or Say. Gavin picks up another one, and now that Chamber is just the last one alive, just running back into spawn. Gonna pick up that little orb right there, and don't really know what he's going to do here. He might just play for his life. He might just go for it. There's no telling. I mean,
you got to go for it. Otherwise, you lose money. You sit there, you're either going to lose the round if you don't try anything. And even if you don't die, you also lose money based off that. So if you don't try here, it's a lose-lose scenario. So we're going to see Quanta try and go ahead and make the most out of this scenario. Sure, it's not really the best situation to be in, but you can finesse something. When you only have 63 health and you have 4 headhunter shots remaining, it's still possible, I'd say. I mean, you just got to find your angles, and you just can't really finesse those. Gavin goes ahead and really sits there and finds the shots and says, all right, let's go on to the next one.
That's just tough. And Gavin puts on some ghost mode or something like that. I don't know what that was. But nevertheless, it happened. It was an honest mistake. We move on to the next round. And Toasty picks up that the Marshall right there, and I'm excited to see what he does with it.
Okay. Well,
Obviously, the second round's going to be coming through. Alabama looking to go ahead and get this force to be playing with as well. Having a Bulldog, the Guardian, 2 Marshals, and then another Bulldog to be working with. They're going to be trying to play off this aggression. They're looking to force as much as possible. Get some easy damage off, get some easy frags to be working with as well. But Lord Rand sitting right up there towards the top. Woo! Trying to make a little bit of a cheeky play with the shorty in hand, but can't finesse it. Can't find that kill, but Biscuit does find one with the classic. But in regards of an answer, we already see Alabama going ahead and closing up the rest of the team. Now in a 1v4 situation, Biscuit is in a really tough spot, but has a Bulldog nonetheless to be working with. So maybe you can finesse a couple more kills and really go ahead and bring some life into this round. But when you have great content on the flank, that's going to be another kill there, and that's going to be another round for the side of Alabama.
I mean, Alabama was just pressing W through mid, and they're just playing a bomb real quickly. I mean, you gotta just expect that they're all just gonna run up there real quick and have 4 people sitting there just ready to kill them all. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, I mean, UA is just pressing W and they're winning. USA is just gonna find a way to not press S and challenge it correctly, or just sit there and wait for them to push. Because I mean, they're coming. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, you got to sit there and win the retaliation round. Knowing that it's the round now, we're going to see the side of South Alabama have these rifles to work with. It's going to be their best chance to really get themselves on the board, and it's to be expected that they can go ahead and find this. It really just comes around to whether or not they can sit there and, you know, get themselves a good standing, and even then with the stuns that come out already, everybody on the side of Alabama just pushing right into the B side. Looking to get aggressive, looking to go ahead, get themselves some presence on site. They definitely managed that at least, but Speed managed to kill of his own as well, so making an even game. Quant is stepping up as well, finding a kill to back things up. Now making it a 3v4, but now making it a 3v3 as Tosi hits a beautiful shot and Gavin makes an exchange as well with that Guardian in hand. So now, with the 2v3, everybody of South Alabama, Quanta has literally no health. It's almost a spit away from having a death there, and also loses the rendezvous to work with as well. So it all comes down to Biscuit really in the back, trying to find the shots, but can't really get the kill there as the double comes out, the double swing, the double shot, and the kill to back it up. So Quanta is going to be out for the count. Now it comes down to Biscuit, who's trying to wrap around right into that heaven area towards the middle of the map, and honestly is getting completely surrounded. Knows these players are going to get aggressive, knows they're going to try and go in and hunt this person down, and she does at least manage one, has to go and grab 2 more and defuse that spike at the same time, but I think she may just be saving with only 10 health to work with.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that Biscuit can do there. That's just tough, you know? That's just super tough. UA, go crazy. I mean, there's not a lot you can do. When UA's got 5 duelists and they're just pushing right to you, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. It really comes down to where the stance is and really where these players are going to put themselves on the map. And honestly, I mean, South Alabama has a shot here. It all comes down to whether or not they can really get the right positioning. And I mean, the way they're playing aggressive, you got one player playing towards tube. Obviously, you want to have control over that. But I mean, A is almost free for the taking. It really just comes down to whether or not they have the presence there to answer what really calls. And you can't really do too much against this dimensional drift, because with the Yori, you can't really shoot him. But Quanta can definitely still shoot Zen. And that's going to be the first kill managed, at least in this round. Gavin's going to get a little bit more aggressive towards that spawn, at least manage 1 kill there. So we've run in the Operator in the back as that Phoenix, managing to kill of his own as well. So now a 3v4 as South Alabama is looking to go ahead and kind of get back on site with that spike down now. Gavin is also looking to double down with his clone, trying to go ahead and play, you know, a 50-50, but once that clone goes down, you still make the turnaround and find the shot, as Mando was not checking spawn by any means necessary, because who in their living mind would really be that far back? So now in a 1v3, you're going to see old Lord Rand trying to clutch things up, but he's going to swing right to Gavin. Gavin's going to find the kill, find a 3K for the round, and make it now a 4-0 game.
I mean, yeah, there's just not a lot to say. I mean, UA pushes bomb, they get bombed down, and USA's got to find a way to take out the right people, get those picks, and then just defuse the bomb quicker than they can just do anything else. And they're just struggling to do that right now.
So, with this now going into the 5th round, I mean, it's going to not really be too much more possible, I'd say, unless we can really see Speed go off with this Operator, because I feel like on the defensive side of your Jet, that's the only way you're going to see a Jet really start to build up momentum, unless you're playing for these retakes. And quite honestly, South Alabama have not had that many opportunities to really play for these retakes. So many of them get picked off beforehand, and before you even really get a chance to breathe or give it a shot. Wow. And speed, missing that first shot is just extremely detrimental to their team. You got to sit there and hit those. You have to get that presence. You have to sit there and know that you can create some breathing room across the map. So as everybody else is looking to answer, push on to B, and even then play towards the middle of the map, Gavin's going to be playing somewhat of a sentinel there towards the middle of the map, trying to bring that pressure, trying to really work things out. But instead, Loran gets the best of him as he's looking towards that tunnel side.
Ah, that's just tough right there. He had the ult out and everything, that free op. Tough. But nevertheless, the UA is having slight issues pushing the point here. But I mean, it's kind of going trade for trade right now. I mean, his Lord is just chilling in that tunnel right there, having mid control. They know all three are on site right now. They have to. There's no way. And now it's a 1v3 situation. 1v2, and sadly down is my boy. He got 4 that round. It's a 5-0 lead for Alabama.
Yep, a much better standing. They're looking to go ahead and run away with this game. And I'm never going to count South Alabama out. But, I mean, this is a very, very tough hill to climb. I mean, that's all it really kind of comes down to. I mean, you know that these players that you're up against, this is a regional conference. This isn't really much more of a skill-based conference as we've sit there and really orchestrated this tournament. But, I mean, Alabama are obviously titans when it comes around to being in the state. It's just kind of very definitive. No one when it comes around to the league team, when it comes around to their Valorant team. And honestly, it's accomplishment nonetheless if you can go ahead and win out a game like this. But how much preparation can you really build up besides just going ahead and playing with each other and climbing the ranked ladder? And that's a lot to ask for. So another thing that's a lot to ask for is even then just winning out games like these. Still possible, but still very difficult nonetheless. You find yourself in a 4v4, you can get an exchange. So, I mean, you make it look a little bit more possible, but when you see the split up from them, you see that the only player on site for A is going to be Lord Rand, and he just really hasn't been too much of a factor in this game thus far. Kind of asleep at the wheel, to say the least, when you need everybody to be at 100%. And I'm 100% sure that we're going to see Sai at least possibly grab a kill as he's pushing up towards that spawn, looking to get an angle and trying to find the right side. But instead, Gavin's going to grab that kill. Now grab a second to back it up as everybody else is pushing right up behind B. And literally, Toasty is just completely ready for Mando. And there it is, the even exchange. Then able to find one as well. It all comes down to Quanta looking to go ahead and find a little bit of a weird angle. But in a 1v3 scenario with all the ultimates being whipped out for the side of Alabama, it makes things very, very difficult.
Very tough. I completely agree. Consider the fact that it's always like 1v3 or 1v2 situations in favor of Alabama. I mean, it's hard for USA to just do anything about it. I mean, it's just tough. And Toasty picks up that last kill right there. I mean, it's 6-0. USA's got to get that first pick off or something like that, you know? Or at least get 2 and then back off. Make the game a little challenging for Alabama to at least, like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, force them to do something, because it feels like they're just kind of doing their own thing, and it seems like the whole game is on their terms only. And USA's just got to find a way to just make the game in their favor almost. But that's just going to be very difficult to do considering the matchup we have right here.
Yeah, it's still not completely impossible. I mean, Quanta, you know, talking about one of these impact players, we've seen a lot out of them, and Biscuit also having a lot of clutch plays in that last map. But as things are really going so far, you had the Viper spit down towards B, so that's a lockdown, and you found yourself a first kill as well onto Gavin. So, I mean, that's a good start. And as we mentioned earlier, you sat there and said find 2 and back up, or find 1, or whatever it may be. That's quite honestly all it comes down to, is finding that first kill and then playing it slow and working for trades. But, I mean, Alabama, you see that they're completely forcing their entire team as duelists. They only have so much utility. They can only go so fast. They can only do so much, and they're opted to win on this attacking side with them and their composition. Defense is where you got to go ahead and sit there and say, well, what can we do there? They're possibly going to play completely for retakes. They're going to go ahead, sit and spawn, wait for an answer to come down, wait for that spike to be planted, and say, all right, let's play right back in our roles. Get aggressive, get onto a site, and we know exactly where we're going. But also right there, Biscuit going ahead, managing a couple kills, making things look a lot more doable, and still in a 2v4 situation to be Alabama trying to go ahead and scratch things together. Zen pushing it with it up, can't find the kill, Mando finds it instead, and I mean, Alabama instead, I mean, I understand you have yourself a massive lead, but you can't be cocky enough to push right through a Viper's pit and expect yourself to win that.
Completely agree with that. I mean, this is exactly what USA needs to do. This is exactly what they need to do. Get that first pick and make Alabama make that move, and then you just pick them off. I mean, that's how they're gonna win this. That's the
Have
only.
a Viper rolled every round?
Not just a Viper roll, but I'm just saying, like, get that first pick and play around that. Force Alabama to do something about it. But if you did have a Viper roll every round, that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, I think it definitely made things a lot more plausible for him, but I mean, that's not possible in the game of Valorant unless you sit there and literally every single round pick up both the orbs and then get it in a complete ace. But that's going to be really, really difficult for them to do, and I've never seen that in the game of Valorant before. So Lord Rand does go ahead and start off with a very good statement. You sat there and said we need to get that first pick. Well, there it is. Lord Rand picking it up. Even then, towards the top, you got Speedrun and an operator as well. So there's 2 down now for the side of Alabama. These operators are going to really serve as a huge hassle for them if they don't really go ahead and know how to answer it. If you're Quanta, you make that call. You say, okay, there is one playing towards stack. There is a player on site. Everybody's making the exchanges. Lord Rand now finds a third. Quanta finds that closure, and finally, some rounds are coming onto the board for Alabama. All it took was just 2 operators.
I mean, hey, whatever you got to do, you know? I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, get that first pick, let Alabama make that move, and that's how you win this game right here. I mean, they're playing very cockily, just like they're kind of trolling at this point almost. I mean, they
chose nothing but duelists. They are obviously.
They don't even have a comp together right now.
I'm not even going to BS it, man. Like, that's what they are doing. They know they're outclassing USA, but honestly, this is the opportunity for USA to step things up, knowing they have the controllers. This is the opportunity as a color caster where if you had yourself a coach, somebody to really step things up and say, look, if they're messing around this much, you get a call, you get a timeout round 1, and you sit there and make the calls. And you don't even have to do that. You know you have smokes to work around. You know you have all kinds of utility to either slow down the opposition, really go ahead and restrain their vision. You have much more resources, so you got to make the most of that. You get a Sage Orb. You have Biscuit, who's an outstanding player. She's had so many clutches. She can play that crowd control role. You have smokes. You have a Sova to get that intel, but instead you're going ahead, you're getting over aggressive, you're not swinging together and checking the same exact angle to make sure you come out in a 1-1 at the end of the day. So as it comes down right there, isolated in the back of the map is going to be Quanta. That's Toasty finding that kill. Everybody else on Alabama stacked on towards this B side. And it makes things very difficult when you see Toasty has that showstopper, just doesn't even mind burning that Joker as the rest of the team is going to go ahead, plant down that spike, and know that Lord Rand's possibly somewhere else on the map.
I mean, that's how UA takes over there. They just kind of push. You guys spread apart. There's nothing that you guys can really do when you guys are separate because they're all pushing together. If you get that first pick off and you guys rally together and stand next to each other, at least be around each other, you know, then you can have the potential to, like, win a round, you know. But, I mean, the way that USA played right there, I mean, just was not very good. Oh, that was a nice shot. That was nice. Oh, but Gavin was on the flank right there, but that was a nice shot.
That was a really gorgeous shot there.
Very gorgeous shot.
But nonetheless, we still see Alabama taking the round at the end of the day, knowing they had a 1v3 to really stack up on. So now as we sit there and see the score going up to 7-2, the rest of the squad is looking to go ahead and really, I don't know, I'd say, I mean, I've said it on so many occasions, I don't want to really repeat myself, but run away with it. I mean, we sit there and know that, I mean, with these double operators that South Alabama stacked up on that B side on the round, they won right up front. I mean, just according straight up to kills and gunfire, you don't have too many opportunities like that. It takes a lot of prerequisites to set up a game like that where you have that much money, you had that many players to really go ahead and stack up the kind of gunfire that it requires. So with them not having those kind of resources, they do have somewhat of a regular buy here, but I mean, that's where you sit there and see the duelists excelling. They go ahead, push into sight, they find some free kills right there, side, grabbing a kill right towards the middle, saying, okay, now we got mid control. I can push up, I can sit there and watch back heaven, I can make sure if anybody's going to swing that out, and Quanta does just a little bit late. In the meantime, instead, you're going to see Gavin trying to play still towards tunnel, trying to just go ahead and get somewhat of a reposition off that shaft and make a little bit more confusion in the minds of these South Alabama players. But as you see, everybody kind of spreading out. The spike is going to be towards that elbow still on that B side. It all comes down to whether or not Gavin on this flank can really make that big of an impact.
Well, Gavin needs to make that impact. Otherwise, USA might get another round. Make it a 3-7 game. But knowing Gavin, he's probably he's taking the thing very slowly, and I sense something bad happening just like that. Yep. Just like that. But Iron Speed is catching on to it right now, and oh, Toasty does go down, but the trade is out. Oh, I Am Speed does get the hand up on Gavin right there, which is pretty big. Spike goes down, 2v2 situation. Phoenix ult does come through.
You actually see some respect coming out of Alabama right now, trying to actually play around the spike, not getting over antsy, looking to see if they can close out some legitimate rounds, knowing that South Alabama are now on the board. They're not going to go for a 13-0. They can't mess around anymore. But what you can do, find a nice little collab if you're great content. We talked about going ahead, finding these double swings, and really having yourself the advantage. You can't do it like that where you line up for the back where you know a player's possibly playing. So a rough situation to say the least. I'm sure he's probably clipping that one if I'm being real.
That's some great content right there, if you ask me.
Hey, that's going on Twitter later.
That's going on Twitter later. Yeah, we'll see that from this person's Twitter. But nevertheless, 8-2 game. Alabama's just kind of in control here. Ow! I just hit my knee on my desk. That did not feel good at all. Anyways, since we get into this, what is it, the 11th round?
Yes.
10th, yeah, the 11th round. That's what I thought. So Great Content does have that op still, which will be very interesting to see how this team uses it. Other than that, it looks like USA is going to stack up on B for the most part as UA just pushes right through.
To be able to make an even exchange, though, making things look a little bit more doable. Yep. It's a very great shot by the guy, even then, especially to go ahead and get rid of the duelist. But there it is. Quanta doubling down, finding the second one to be working with. But in the meantime, the rest of the Alabama team has pushed on to this B side. Looking to get aggressive there, looking to also push on A, and that's where the spike's going to be going down at. Gavin, sadly enough, gets blindsided there. Can't really get the opportunity to answer. Doesn't know his barrel was peeking out of that gun and can't really make too much of a work out of it. But great content. Still alive and well towards the back with that Neon. Looking to pop this ultimate. Looking to get aggressive when he can find a first kill. Needs to go and pop that wall to get that coverage for himself. Looking to get maybe that second kill. But unfortunately enough, Biscuit's that second player you run into. And Biscuit has been that clutch player on so many different occasions in both maps so far to really go ahead and give South Alabama that chance. She's been almost what I sit there and call it again, the mom of the team, to say nonetheless, knowing that Vocula was the same for UNA. I mean, they're both outstanding players. They know to stay calm and contested and saying that when we need to sit there and step up, I can definitely do it if need be. Don't go ahead and freak out. We got to sit there, get ourselves around. And even then, if we see Alabama winning this round, it's going to be a 9-3 half. I mean, for a team that's running duelists, obviously it's a little bit overzealous and they're expected to win the attacking side. But nonetheless, a 9-3 is a kind of common lineup we see in rounds regardless of what the matchups are.
Yeah, I mean, what'll really matter is how USA plans to attack on this next go, especially when the entire UA team has nothing but duelist. It'll be very interesting to see how they'll attack against that, especially with the util being down for the side of UA. Maybe they're just that confident in their gunplay and they're just positioning that they'll just go ahead and just take over and finish it off pretty easily off that attack. But I mean, we'll just have to wait to see until that happens. But right now they are pushing that B site right now.
Okay.
And Great Content gets another 2. As Lord Rand is slowly approaching with that operator.
Just got to play for long. Doesn't want to get too crazy here because Mando's still holding his own on site. Was able to go ahead and manage a kill on his end. And Lorraine has an idea of where one of these players are. Finesses that kill. Knows that 2 more are going to be on site because one's going ahead holding Spike and Alabama isn't going to be doing anything ridiculous enough to say that we're not going to station up for this to sit there and play off whatever may be. But
he hit that shot.
Hit some good damage there on the likes of them. Make sure to bring that pressure on and say that you don't want to get over peak now because you will go ahead and die. But having an operator in hand is a big problem. Knowing that that rechamber time is extremely long, you have no real presence once you go ahead and get that shot off that you have to either go ahead and tap out. But when you're only watching one angle and you're scoped in, Toasty finds an exchange, finds that kill, and then says, now we're up 9-3. It's our turn to defend with nothing but the duelist comp. And as I mentioned earlier, if they're going to be smart about this, I think they're just going to play for nothing but retakes.
I mean, that's how you have to do it, I'm pretty sure. I mean, what else are they going to do? Smoke? No.
I mean, Jet's got one that lasts like 5 seconds.
Well,
2 of them that last 5 seconds, actually.
Well, you only got 2 compared to USA's healing, their smokes, and everything in their recon. But hey, anything can happen. It's 9-3 at the half. UA go crazy regardless, you know?
Well, it all starts right here, whether or not they can get the pistol
off, and then they can get the force right behind it. They got to go crazy right here, right now. You can already see Toasty looking to go for a setup, trying to sit there and figure out where some of these players are. And hearing all these footsteps, he's going to go ahead and throw out that nade, create that space, sit there and say, okay, well, now your speed, you find an easy kill. So that's good damage for the side of Toasty, but a good kill for the side of Speed to go ahead and say, all right, now it's a 5v4. We can just push on the side. But Gavin is alive and well, finds a kill, finds a shot on to Quanta as well to go ahead and do that damage. And there's great content on the flank. Able to go ahead and manage one kill of his own. And it all comes down to with Biscuit already being dead, it makes the job much more difficult for the rest of the team unless Quanta can really step up with his head on her. Able to go ahead and finesse another one. Huge kill there. You get the read on Rand over to your left, and great content knew exactly where Lord Rand was. Able to go ahead and swing out, find that kill. Now in a 1v2 scenario, it all comes down to Mando with nothing but 41 HP in a dream, and a class to be working with as well. And you already know that great content has the read, has the slide, has the kill as well, and that puts University of Alabama into a 10-3 lead.
I mean, it's kind of what I expected almost. Not trying to be harsh towards USA, because, I mean, they're playing right now. They're doing their best against this. And UA is just kind of on a different level right now. I mean, USA, you guys are a great team. I mean, UA is just kind of on a different level right now, you know? They kind of just have full control.
Here comes the force. Round 11 possibly for the side of Alabama. Not match point just yet, but still a convincing lead nonetheless. You sit there and see the stance. They have an Aries. They're looking to go ahead and play things out, but great content. Looking for some great content, but just can't really find it. Goes ahead, gets picked off there. And the rest of the side of South Alabama is making an even exchange and making a convincing case for themselves in this round, but still dwindles down to a 3v3. Biscuit's on site, looking to plan on the outside of B, looking to go ahead and get some presence there, on A, and even then a wall comes down to back it up. Provides that coverage, but just a small nook and cranny for Gavin to work with is enough to find a kill on the Biscuit. Go ahead and manage whatever you can, and knowing that you have to go ahead and play for this retake, that's exactly what we see Alabama trying to do. Now in a 2v2 scenario, make that a 1v2 as we now see Alabama in the lead once again. It all comes down to sight. Playing around this fire, Gavin trying to play onto the spike, but the double down to come through. Quanta still being alive and well in the back with 50 armor and a whole 100 health to work with as well. The pressure doesn't come out. Instead, you see Gavin looking to go ahead and get aggressive, trying to go ahead and throw a TP out just to fake things out. And you know that, honestly, he should have sat there and worked it afterwards. He's still trying to find the kill, has a Spectre in hand, trying to get the shots off, does manage it, and gets the defuse to back it up.
No
Actually
way! He almost had it.
Point 22 is what that man had left on that defuse.
That's so tough. That's so tough. That man was so close to getting that huge play right there to get the lead up to 11-3, but now it's 10-4. And I think USA's kind of starting to find that groove on how they want to do this, potentially. I mean, they do that, I don't know, 12 more times, they'll be alright. Any of the hope.
I don't. It wouldn't be 12. It would be. It'd just be 9.
Well, you might get a few rounds here and there. You know, got to go to overtime, make it exciting.
Yeah, that could definitely be possible. Then it would be 12 rounds, or even then it'd just be 11, because it'd be that when you win the back-to-back. But nonetheless, we sit there and see these teams now going into this round 15 as Alabama, as we mentioned earlier, looking to go ahead and capitalize on this, trying to go ahead and end up this game. They're on the double-digit, tick down that I like to call as the countdown to the timer and the rounds up there at the top. And as they sit there and know they're having to play for retake, it's going to be a very, very difficult venture to go ahead and really kind of come in success with. Knowing they've all got nothing but pistols and they're on somewhat of a save round, and we see the entirety of South Alabama with nothing but buys. They have no armor to back this up. Biscuit, Quanta, and Lord Rand are the only 3 with armor, and even then it's not full armor. It's only half. So any headshot, no matter what the distance of with these sheriffs, would be an easy kill. There's Gavin able to go ahead and find one player. You got Toasty on the outside, finding one as well. Free Phantom to pick up off of that, and everybody else on the side of South Alabama going back to the other spawn, and UA not really beat up too about it. Saying, okay, we have nothing but sheriffs, so goodbye next round anyways. Go ahead and die with that spike. Don't give the advantage over to the side of South Alabama and give them those extra ticks towards progress of their ultimate. So, and even standing here, now what's to tie up the game, South Alabama only needs 5 more rounds to go ahead and have a convincing case of themselves to say, okay, game's tied up. I mean, obviously, duels aren't really made for defense, so let's see what they can do.
I mean, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, you know. Right now, I feel like UA is kind of almost practicing, you know. I don't know. I don't know if that's harsh to say, but like potentially they're just not very good at retakes, and maybe that's what they're trying to do here, you know. I don't know. I'm just getting that weird sense that UA is kind of like almost in like practice mode. That might sound very disrespectful towards USA, but I don't know. Oh, that's a good first pick though.
Quant with the Torty Force, able to go ahead and grab that first frag. Going ahead and making it now 5v4, but I mean, UA is still playing in the back and now down another player as Gavin's picked off as well. You know that players have weapons. You know they have presence on the map, and you know they have buys this time around, but still, there is only 3 players really there with it. Now, make it all still 3 players, as we now see USA down to 0, as I was going to say 1 a second ago, but great content with an easy sweep on the site, looking to close things out with that 3K. So now, Alabama, an easy answer, I'd say, based on these past couple of rounds. A lot of back and forth with the forces that come through. That last save, they definitely come up with an answer fairly quickly, I'd say the least, and now making their rounds count up to 11. So only 2 more rounds to find themselves a win, but only 1 more to get the match point and really put the, I'd say, the ball into USA's court, because they're already having to take shots. That's quite obvious in its own respect, but as everything does kind of go ahead and pan out a little bit more so, the game looks doable when you're on this defensive side. Problem is, last thing you want to do is give them that match point, because you could rob the lead away from them so long as you just string a couple together and start getting to feel off of each other.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I mean, USA, I mean, Gavin's popping off. You do something about Gavin and content, you'll be alright, I feel like. But other than that, Lord's kind of like, you're almost your top frag. And I don't know what Gavin was doing right there, never mind. That's some type of play I would make. You know? Oh well, there's 3 down for the side of USA. And they just kind of picked them all off all at once. 1 troll, 4 picks.
Well, I mean, even in those in exchange, you sat there and only had 3 players living at the end, but now we see USA with a little bit of a sticky situation on their hands. Last round, match point here for the side of Alabama, but, I mean, you don't have rifles to back this up. Alabama most definitely do, but instead they're just going ahead and sticking with what they got. Meanwhile, USA just going ahead, whipping out Spectres, Judges, I mean, whatever they can sit there and really get the expense for, because regardless of the very, very rough situation, 2 Judges, a Marshal, a Spectre, and you can see great content able to go ahead and at least finish one with that ultimate, but Biscuit finds the exchanger with that Judge in hand to find that kill. But still, 2 more ultimates from the side of Alabama, out and ready to go. You find that Blaze Storm, you have that Showstopper, you have nobody really pushing that ultimate just yet, because speed is now right back into the game. And it's a 5v4. It all comes down to whether or not you can actually get onto site with these 5 players that are alive. And with them playing very slow and steady, they don't really have too much of a long angle to be working out thus far. The ones that are working for a long angle are the ones that have the rifle in hand. And that's going to be right there coming up on that flank. You can see Toasty trying to play from the back, trying to push up towards spawn, trying to play towards the middle. But everybody on the side of South Alabama is pushing on the B side. They haven't rotated out yet. They have nothing to be working with. And we even see Gavin come up with somewhat of a contingency plan if things really go south. So everybody of South Alabama being very weary of all their surroundings, being very intimidated by the presence of these players. No one even then pinging towards the back, looking for the flank, knowing the players can be coming up. That could be Toasty, and that could be a free pick, but they're very concerned about what's going on there. Doesn't even get any damage off of that Showstopper. A very difficult gun to use now, even then, because Riot really just kind of messed with the hit ratio on that. So the aggression now comes out. The sight swing is now coming through. Speed finds that kill with the right click of the Blade Storm, but Toasty finds an even exchange of 2 kills of his own.
Toasty had to get that reload. 1v3 situation, but bomb. Oh.
Here's him in the left ear. Know that for a fact.
Oh lordy. Maybe he goes straight for defuse. I don't know, but I mean, not what he could do there. He's got an op, and the Viper ult's up. Not like that my man's could do right there, but nevertheless, another round win for USA. They got 6 rounds. I mean, that's good for the side of USA. What do you want, Pluto?
It's pretty impressive, I'll say. I mean, they've strung some together, and every single time they got in a Viper's pit, we've seen some success out of it. We've seen a round win for them, but I mean, you really got to let Mendo have every single one of these orbs to really go ahead and get these rounds to pan out in your favor. I mean, it was also huge there to go and get the res on speed, get that Bladestorm kill, knowing that round could have been a lot more even. You could have had that shut off on site. That kill right there towards the center, right there when you go ahead and swing out. Great content. Pushing a little bit too far, getting a little overzealous is also another big problem for the side of Alabama. But there you go. Quanto with the first pick in this round. Going ahead and setting the pace for this. It all comes down to whether or not we can see Toasty step up. And even then, he can't because he's already dead. Even then, Gavin falls as well as then goes ahead and makes sure to really make an exchange there on the speed. But with everybody on South Alabama looking to go ahead and try and play somewhat of an odd game thus far, we see Sai just trying to finesse whatever he can, having nothing but a Bucky for a little bit. Now looking to swing around, has that Phantom, going ahead trying to kill Biscuit, but that's one of the best players of South Alabama that you just really can't do it. Zen is still alive and well, though, is able to manage one on the Lord Rand, looking to get 3 more and the defuse to really go ahead and get this round and go ahead and get the game closed out. It's almost like a little bit of a spotlight now. Which player can clutch up first? It was Sai last round, it's Zen this round maybe. There it is! There it is! The ace for the win! And not only it's a sure little snake bite down, but nothing a little bit of a spike defuse can't fix as we see Alabama closing this thing out.
Wow. What an ace. Just to finish off the game. That's crazy. But yeah, that was kind of just pure domination from the side of University of Alabama. Not a lot you could really say there, per se. USA, they put up a good fight, but I mean, USA was on a different level. Or UA was on a different level.
I think from the leaderboard, the one thing that we learned here is whether or not, you know, you're a cracked team or whatever it may be, Phoenix still is not meta on this map.
Makes me sad.
The guy is definitely kind of dead for a duelist, but it is what it is. And another thing that is what it is this matchup. I mean, we obviously knew coming into this that I don't want to go ahead and count South Alabama out by any means necessary. They strung some rounds together, and sure, it took the side of Alabama to go ahead and not really run a real composition, nothing but duelist. But even then, you still see the possibilities of teams taking them down. Their shots aren't completely perfect across the board. They can't win every single gunfight with whatever gun they have at their disposal. They're still killable to some extent. And even though they have themselves an undefeated record here in week 4 of the main stage, we know that other teams have a possibility to beat them. And we have Auburn in this competition, and I wouldn't say they're the best by any means, but they're definitely possible to take down the likes of these guys. And even then, UNA, they have some really, really weird plays they like to break out every here and there, so it also makes it possible for them to sit there and be somewhat of a wild card that plays under the radar. You never really know what could happen here, but what we do at least know happened is that USA strung some rounds together. They had an impressive fight nonetheless for themselves. They had somewhat of a convincing argument for themselves, but I mean, we know that there should be one victor at the end of the day, and it's going to be Alabama this time around. So with all that being said and done, we do find ourselves at the conclusion of our second series and a closure here today. We know that second was a little bit scuffed with the old NATO having to observe and cast at the same time. And even in the second map, it's just Riot and their comms not really being straightened out thus far. But regardless, we will be back on Friday with some Rocket League. We'll be back next week to be working with all these things as well as we do go ahead and start coming into the conclusion of these couple weeks, because I want to say we're going into finals at April 24th. So this is definitely coming up here soon. Playoffs are definitely among us, and they're closing in. So with everything being said and done, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, thank our production, which would be Luffy, who was observing for most of the maps tonight, missed out on one of those, and then Brandy for going in and being the producer for all of this tonight, and even then for the entirety of this tournament. And I want to thank all of you as the viewers for sticking around as well. So if you could go ahead and join us Friday, next week as well, and all the weeks after that. In the meantime, we're going to be closing things out here tonight, and I wish you a great rest of your week.